All right, all right, all right. Brian, if I offered you right now
No.
$25,000 to start your own business, would you be the dude that does into something for passion, or would you do something for just like an investment and let it accumulate?
Investment.
What would you do? What would you do?
Investment.
What would you do?
25,000 is investment. That's not a passion. A passion, you'll. Actually, they're both investments if you really think about it. But I would probably dump that into like a stock or crypto.
Oh,
Or
you're gonna do like stock? Okay.
Hell yeah. What about yourself?
Like $25,000 worth of dollar burgers, dude.
You fat ass motherfucker.
It's a lot of chicken nuggets, man.
It's a lot of burgers, bro.
Well, I'm saying, like, I know the writer strike's going on, but you know what's not on strike? Chicken nuggets. What is up? Welcome back. It's Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I'm here with my co-host Brian D from New Jersey.
Yo. What up?
Nothing, man. Chilling. How was your week so far, brother?
Yo, my week has been it's been all right. I was a little bit under the weather. I'm still under the weather, so pardon the voice or whatever. But you know what? I'm ready for this weekend, dude. It's the Errol Spence and it's the and Bud Crawford fight tomorrow, so I can't wait for that. So yeah, man, I'm ready for the weekend, man. How about yourself?
That is Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje.
That's right.
Dude, that is a stacked card, man.
That's a stacked card. What's up?
That's dude. I was we were talking about that shit yesterday at the gym, and I was like,
that's a stacked one. That's the guys stacked one. But
D, what's up in the comment section? What's up? Cooter Soup Instructions. That's got to be my boy, Wrong Hole Rick. That's got to be my dude. Every week comes up with such a fucking, such a quippy fucking.
Rob, dude, it's not a show. It's not a show without butt stuff. I'm sorry, man.
No butt stuff tonight.
There's gonna be a lot of tuned into the wrong show for that, man. Yeah. Definitely gonna get some butt stuff.
We're gonna get some butt stuff going on later.
1,000%.
Yeah, man. Dude, we had an awesome fucking day of training this past week at the gym. We're getting some of our guys ready for a smoker that's coming up in August. A bunch of my new cats are going to be fighting August 12th, my birthday. They're going to be throwing down at a smoker, which is like smokers are really cool, glorified sparring matches. We don't really have like a winner or loser. You just give them 3 rounds, beat the fuck out of each other, and just get it all out, dude. Just get it all out. And yeah, it was really, really exciting week. We just got in there. We did a bunch of mitts, a bunch of training, just a bunch of sessions with everybody, and everyone's excited. And then October, we're looking for a fight in October with a Texas Clash promotion with my amateur fighters. But yeah, man, it's been a pretty solid week. We were talking about at the gym yesterday, the Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje fight, and the card looks stacked. The only thing is like, when they told me that Wonderboy Thompson was fighting that dude that likes to throw like a bunch of like flips and like capoeira and all this other stuff, I was like, this right here is going to be like that Jackie Chan Jet Li fight going on, dude. This is going to be a bunch of like crazy hijinks, jumping kicks, flying stuff. And then the fucking Brazilian guy doesn't make weight. They fucking, and Stephen Thompson's like, I'm not going to fight you, but not if you can't make weight. Not at my age, not at my
level. Wrong hole, Rick. I want to agree with you, but Errol Spence is a dog, bro. Like, I am not putting any money against Errol Spence. But Bud Crawford is a beast, dude. But Errol Spence, and they both had to weigh in today, bro. And they both showed up in the black Air Force Ones, in the black Air Force Ones. And anyone that knows, anybody that has black Air Force Ones, are all about the fucking the fuckery. So they're about the fuckery. D, I follow Combat Cult on Instagram. They have a really good promotion. And the next time I'm out there, I hope that you take me. I see that you're involved with them. I hope that you take me to a show, because it looks fucking amazing, bro.
Yeah, he hit me up about it this past week. He was like, yo, come by the show. It's going to be Saturday. I think it's in Weslaco at Suerte. It's a club that's downtown. They're going to do like straight up like wrestling in a club. I'm about that, dude. I'm about that. I think it's gonna be I think that's a really, really great way to initiate that type of like existence in the club scene without people getting crazy. And then fuck it, dude. If some guy gets rowdy, like be like, hey, we got a ring here for a purpose, dude. Get up.
Oh yeah.
Sign the waiver, sign the insurance waiver, and just put it down. Let's go, boys. That reminds me of a Fight Circus, dude.
Yeah.
I love Fight Circus. Cooter Soup Instruction says, I think Justin Gaethje can beat Dustin. I think Dustin's fight smarter though. Yeah, straight up. That's pretty much what we were talking about at the gym. It's like Justin Gaethje is a smart fighter also, but Dustin has a very well-rounded suit when it comes to like involving his wrestling into his striking combats, where Justin Gaethje is more of like a jiu-jitsu guy. So the wrestling aspect in Dustin Poirier is kind of like his edge. And his striking's phenomenal, dude. Dustin Poirier is there's a reason why he was a champ. You know what I mean? Like he puts it up. Justin Gaethje's the same though, man. Like the dude, I just feel like under a lot of pressure, Justin Gaethje has a tendency to get kind of sloppy. I think he has a tendency to get kind of sloppy, kind of foot in the mud kind of stuff. Yeah, Dustin, but that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Dustin I used to know that cat back in the day. He used to fight out of Louisiana, and I had a couple of my guys fighting out of the same card, USAMMA.org. And yeah, he'd always been like a spectacular jiu-jitsu guy. He used to train at this gym in Louisiana called the Ronin Dojo. And I forgot the main guy's name off the top. Gil Giori. Yeah, Gil Giori was the guy who ran that thing, and shout out to those dudes. But they're primarily like a more wrestler than jiu-jitsu guy. So that's where Dustin gets that real ground effect, man. And then plus he's part of AKA, which is like another fucking amazing organization. But straight up, man, that's such a dude. I'm telling you, like overall, the entire card that's going on tomorrow is fucking wild, dude. Even Kevin Holland's on it. Like Kevin Holland's on that fucking card, and Kevin Holland's a G, man. I love that dude. So I can't wait to see this card go on tomorrow. But yeah,
I'm gonna miss it, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you're gonna be watching the boxing. You're gonna watch the boxing.
It's the fight of the fucking year, dude. Yeah, this is the fight that everyone's been asking for and everyone's been waiting for. So I wish they would have the Poirier fight was a different night, but I'm not gonna catch it. I'm gonna have to watch the highlights.
What'd you think of that fight between you and Fulton?
I didn't watch it.
No, dude, that kid, man, from Japan is. Dude, he's an animal, man. I think he's going to be one of the upcomers that I think is going to be the fight for Tank sooner or later. I know that Tank fights at a different weight class though. Yeah. But I bet you they'll do some type of catch weight. It'll be like because in the MMA world, like that type of catch weight ain't too crazy. But in boxing it is because there's so much in between.
The thing about that is at a point with Tank that no one wants to see that fight. No one's asking for that fight. They're asking for the big name fights. They're asking for him to fight one of these two gentlemen that are fighting tomorrow. They're asking for like the big name fights. We've seen him beat people that are lesser known, but yeah. we're as me as a Tank fan, I need to see him fight someone that is worth him fighting.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a good point. I mean, the thing is like with fighters, Tank just got off of a fight, even though it wasn't like a barn banger or anything like that.
That fight sucked, dude.
Yeah, no one anything crazy, but he'll take his time off.
No one thought Ryan Garcia was gonna fucking win. Yeah. No one thought Ryan Garcia
was just the YouTube kind of spectaculars. Like, they're signing it up for the vision and the views. Yeah. It was kind of like a one and done. Ryan Garcia, he's a good cat, but like he's not at that level yet. He still needs to kind of get his like chops in. He's had too many like accidental wins. Fights. Yeah, well, accidental wins where it's like people are fantastical about like his weird like uppercuts or body shots that he throws where like he accidentally catches a dude and knocks him out, like throwing some like wicked, weird, wild up. There's like the one that everybody has. It's like a highlight shot where it's like the invisible uppercut. Yeah. And it's like, it's not an invisible uppercut. It's just that he threw it with a good enough effort that it was right under his arm. And you just can't see it on film. But if you look at it from any other fucking perspective, you could see the uppercut just goes right in normal. It's cool. He does like a little half cock uppercut and it's pretty good. But fighting at the level of like Tank, like Tank's just way too experienced for a kid like that. It goes into strategy. It goes into all this other stuff that he needs to do. So it's good. Edward, what's up, my dude? David, what's up? Triggs, we'll see you. Man, good coming on. It's good to see you guys in the comment section. Welcome back to Friday nights here at the Average Boys Podcast. We got some
Wait,
great talking points we're gonna be talking about today. So
1 second. Speaking of Ryan Garcia, who is promoted by Golden Boy Productions, there's a documentary out. I don't know if anybody's seen it. There's a documentary, a new one on HBO Max or Max now, about Oscar De La Hoya called The Golden Boy.
yeah,
That documentary is fucking phenomenal. It's
we're good.
really, it's really, really good. That guy's a piece
Shit.
of shit. Like I didn't
Yeah,
realize how
I was
much of a
gonna
piece of
say,
shit
I
he
was like,
was.
man, that guy does not have a good name in a lot of the boxing world in the last like 10 years, man.
That guy
Outside of
is
boxing, it's the Boondocks R. Kelly moment. Like we know Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy, is awesome in boxing.
yeah,
But him outside of that is
a whole different story.
Fucking, he's a whole box of kitty litter, bro. Like just it's fucking.
But you know what was interesting about everything is that it looked like he produced or he was overseeing this documentary. And normally when there's like a documentary where the person who is the point of interest is involved, it kind of takes it easy. But no, he let everything out in this documentary.
He has to, man.
They touched. He didn't have to. No, he did not.
But it's because of like so many of those points are in the internet that's what he knows is going to make views.
But listen, if I'm doing a documentary and there's a point where I might have been videotaped or there's pictures of me in a fishnet dress, I'm probably gonna leave that out of the documentary. We're just gonna stick to the boxing, right? Because the boxing alone was worth the documentary. This guy fought everyone. He fought everyone.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can go back and see those fights. What you can't go back is you can't go back and find out why he wore the fishnets in the first place.
That's true, and I think that's that. But see, but my point is, nobody does that. No one does that. When they do a documentary about themselves,
it's very like cut and dry.
They don't. It's very vanilla. It's very cookie cutter. It's straight to the point. They don't go into the controversy shit. In this, they go into all of the rape allegations, into like the fucking the dresses, the illegitimate kids, the absentee father, the
maybe
cheatings.
It's just because he knows, dude. Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows. Like he just knows how to do it, man. It's like he's been doing it for so long, right? Like the boxing world and like promoting this, and then all of a sudden, like a kid like Ryan Garcia comes up, and he's like, "How is this kid more popular than me?" And I've done all of this stuff. Like, how is it that he's more of a phenomenal inspiration on the internet more than me, the Golden Boy? And then all of a sudden Ryan Garcia goes, "Oh, it's because I just put it all out there. Like I know how to make content. It's got to be like controversial and shit." Mm-hmm. And this whole entire life of Oscar De La Hoya has been like hide everything. And people are like, "Oh, okay, it's the Golden Boy. Like he's done some stuff, but like, you know, it's a phenomenal boxer, like the way we look at him." Yeah. But it's like, but you don't know, like that dude like had Saturday nights where he liked to like dress up like a chick and go downtown and hook up with dudes or whatever. You're like, holy fuck. And then that's on the internet for the next like 4 months and you're just being talked about. And it's like, again, negative and positive PR is still PR.
Like even the way that he got on, right? When he won the junior Golden Glove, or no, the Olympics, when he went to the Olympics, he said that, you know, my mother passed away. Her dying wish was for me to win the gold. That was a lie. He had been lying since a kid. Like he's just a liar. But like in this documentary, he says he's like, bro, that was all bullshit. That was all bullshit. Like I was lying about all that shit. And to see someone have a documentary and just like expose themselves that way, it was kind of refreshing, to be honest with you. And I would suggest, if you guys get some time, it's broken up into 2 parts. It's part 1 and it's part 2.
Part 2 is part documentary.
Part 2 is when they get into the bullshit,
the nitty gritty and shit, the after dark moments,
like the juicy shit.
Yeah, here's the OnlyFans subscription.
I definitely recommend anybody watch that. That was a really good documentary.
Good shit. Yeah, but we have a United Collectors Expo tomorrow here in Edinburgh, so we'll be out there. We have a little table. We'll sell some shit. And then I have a friend of mine that's doing a lowrider thing. I got to take pictures of my bike this past week, man. I'm telling you, man, like that's
all right. Listen, bro, we gotta address something, right? Shoot, you look badass, bro. You look badass. The bike looked badass. The shades look badass. The shirt looked badass. The shorts look badass. but you can't take the pictures with your feet out like that, bro. Why am I
Oh, yeah,
looking
that's
at
the
pictures?
whole.
Why am I looking at pictures with your feet out, bro? That's
It's
so
the sandals,
disrespectful,
man. The
bro.
sandals go with that aesthetic
The
also. So
fucking
that's the cool
feet,
part.
the feet thongs, bro. Nah, I'm like,
And the
nah. Why they
Crocs too,
got
man. You gotta work. You gotta work
my
it.
boy, man? You can't do that, man. That's so disrespectful, man.
Yeah, we ended up just kind of like I hit a friend of mine up, Alex. So you'll see Alex, Mr. 10 out of 10 himself in the comment section. He's my boy.
Alex should have stopped you. You look like a
Yeah,
freaking psycho with those
that's
sandals,
what it's all
man.
about, dude. You know.
No, it's not, man. No, it's
No,
not,
we had a good
man.
time though, man. It was out of nowhere. I had called him up the day before, which was after the podcast, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you got some time tomorrow? Maybe we can get together and I wanted to do photos of my shoot and represent the this bike crew that I want to create called Lokazoko, which is based off of Japanese culture, the biker culture way back in the day after World War II, of all the whole delinquent young kids that are out there about fashion and just that whole James Dean kind of like rebellious action in Japan. And the reason why I'm kind of establishing this is because in Japan itself, there's a huge Chicano and lowrider culture that's expanding where the Japanese culture is in respect to our culture. And they're out there using like the LA look, you know, like the Knights and the Raiders and all this different like just memorabilia that fornicates into the Chicano culture. And it's yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's like, I mean, if you break it down, like it's embedded in their culture just as much now, where that they're taking our imports and they're taking Impalas to Japan so they can turn them into lowriders, and they're having lowrider meetups, and they're meeting up with dudes that have imports that are there for like, you know, the fucking Fast and the Furious, like drifting, and then all of a sudden you see a bunch of like, yeah. Look. Even Cooter says in the comment section, like Japanese cholo culture is fucking wild, man.
I get that. It's badass, bro. Just put some fucking socks and sneakers on, bro. That's
well, okay. So going back to what I was talking about right here is that I'm a big fan of the Japanese culture. Like, I think just like all of us, like anime fans and martial arts fans, and like we almost have this like almost like romanticized idea that Japan is like this just crazy like historical culture place with all the beauty and stuff, and we always have this like grand old dream of us going over there and just like, you know, enjoying our vacation and loving the culture itself. But
yeah.
I enjoy that culture enough that I could see the impression that it makes on the American culture, and I want to be able to not culture vulture steal like their styles, but I want to show a an appreciation for their styles, like they're doing for us. Because like when you go over there and you talk about it, they don't go over there and say like, oh well, we're taking the culture from the cholos or whatever. It's like they're saying like, no, they really like it. They like the idea of it, the ideals and the culture itself and what it does, and they make it into crews for the community. And I think that's like a beautiful thing. I mean, for us in the Hispanic culture, for us to look like Chicanos and like all that stuff and be like, oh, I'm not like super gangster or whatever. Like, oh, I'm kind of scared of those guys or whatever. And for it to be like in open arms in another country is a beautiful thing to me. So like, that's why I want to create an organization here that where we take the lowrider culture, but theme it with a Japanese flavor of like a, what is it? I guess like fashion and design. So in any way, so yeah, that's really what it is.
I get that, and I love
don't
that.
wear chanclas, yeah.
Don't
wear
show
chanclas.
me your feet anymore, man. And you know what? I gotta get my jokes off because before Cristela gets in here and gets on my ass, bro. So I gotta get my jokes off before she gets in here, bro.
That's
gotta get my jokes off first.
But it's
no,
cool,
that's
like,
awesome. That's dope. That's
shit,
dope.
man. I'll be on Foot Finder in like 3 weeks and be making extra
Bruh,
cash.
that was so disrespectful. Don't do that, man.
I was in a rush. I didn't have any opportunity.
I get it.
And that's because like that's the thing too. Like I have a pair of like I wear Asics. I love Asics, dude. I've loved Asics ever since high school. Like the athletic shoes Asics.
Mhm.
Like, but those are not street shoes, bro. Like I haven't had a pair of DCs since I was like in high school, fucking skateboarding, rollerblading. So like with that part, I want to be able to have it where like my week I dress how I normally dress. But like when I go for my meetups, like I have a fashion to establish. I want to be able to have that wardrobe for that action. And I want to be able to do it like culturally, like in just a bunch of different ways. I have even friends of mine that are hitting me up for like, they have like cars, like import cars. And they're like, yo, can we meet up with you the next time you do some shit like that? And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole purpose. Is it's just to kind of like show the love for the theme of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And then I get to use my graphics design and my photography and my editing, and I get to put it all in there and kind of make something cool. And then not only that, I
should have fucking edited some sneakers,
some shoes on, man. Yeah, like I can do that shit right now. I can prove to you AI is taking over, man. That shit 10 minutes, man.
Should have edited some shoes.
I should do that shit. I'll make a video where I just switch my shoes out in that thing, and I guarantee you're gonna trip out how fast that AI shit works. And people out there trying to act like they got some skill with it and shit. But you know, it was even cooler that I had friends of mine hitting me up that were like, yo, dude, I really like this. This is really cool. I've always been scared to ride bikes, or I don't know how to ride a bike. Like, how could I come along doing that? And I'm able to kind of educate people how they can kind of do this because dude, like being able to work on my bike is such a cool project. Like it kind of gets me just to kind of feel a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of bolts and stuff, a little bit of mechanic work, a little bit of things, and kind of gets me going in that vibe where I just feel like I'm doing something other than just like the mundane things of life. And it's so cool to be able to do something to where it's more of a manageable skill and a project that it could be done in a day or two, and then you can go off and show it off your work and your art. So like that, I've had people hit me up about ideas and where can I go for this and that. So it's been a really good community build too.
I like this conversation, especially the comment that Cooter Soup Instructions, aka Wrong Rig. He says culture vulture is a narrow lane. He said not many people fall into that. Most people appreciate the culture that influences them more than people that grew up in it. And I think that's a very accurate comment. But I think there's a difference between someone appreciating and loving a culture and then culture vultures. And I think
what is it, a cultural appropriation or something?
So
like that?
I think the difference is when there's an outsider that is appropriating the culture, actually monetizing off of it and creating its own narrative based off of a culture. That's what the culture vulture is. I don't think there's anything wrong with someone appreciating a culture from outside of their own. But when you say the word culture vulture, it's when people are appropriating it and monetizing off of it. That's something totally different.
Yeah. Or they don't even acknowledge where it came from.
I think
the origins of it. Right?
I don't even think that's it. You can acknowledge it. You can acknowledge where the culture is and where it's based out of. But when you're monetizing off of it and you're not giving back, I would say, to the community. Like if you're just only making money for the sake of making money off of a lifestyle or a culture, but you're not actually putting anything back into it to grow the culture, that's where the issue is.
Now, what's cool is Cooter says that Cooter, I love it, dude. This guy's got me saying Cooter on podcasts. That's amazing. Recently picked up archery. I love archery, bro. I have my Diamond Razor that I've had for years. It's my old teenage bow. I've been shooting compound bows since I was a kid. Gator gar fishing with them. I go fishing with it sometimes. Hunting and all that other stuff. Like it's something and I love archery. Like it's my dude. I can literally get lost in archery for hours, dude. So good on you for picking up, man. That's a really cool hobby to pick up. And then Cooter says, but those are the ones that get accused of the most. I mean, because it's like you said, man. It's a very narrow lane, and when it's a narrow lane, there's a lot of people that will automatically jump on it and assume that it's like you're always going to be in that bad nature. So like sometimes you just gotta if you have a passion for it and you feel like you're doing the right thing and you're giving the respect back to the people that deserve it, like by all means, man, keep going. Don't worry about the haters. It's like people say, like the only people that hate you are the ones that are behind you. They're not in front of you, they're not next to you. So don't even worry about it, man. Like I do my thing, man, and I don't care. I'm not like a hardcore lowrider dude or nothing like that, but I love what I do, man. I just love my shit up. Wear all my crazy lowrider clothes.
And don't believe that shit. People in front of you can hate on you too, bro.
Slap the shit out of them.
1,000%.
You just got a German suplex them out of the way. So yeah, okay. So Triggs isn't back yet, but I do want to start getting into our conversations already. We do have
Okay.
a good amount of things we're going to be talking about and stuff like that. And of course,
Tried
like
to
we
buy
said,
you some time, Triggs.
yeah, man. But shout outs again to the fights and stuff like that are coming up. Some really exciting stuff for the weekend, guys. There's a lot of things going on. Plus, if you're in the Valley, the MXLAN or Mexlan, I know you're not from here, Ryan, so you don't know what I'm talking about, but they're having a huge Mexican heritage convention at the convention center, and
cool.
it's called Mexclan. I think I'm gonna see if I can find it real fast, and then I'll share it. MX.
While you're looking that up, I just want to give a shout out to all of the creators in the Valley. I've been ever since I've got in contact with D and Chris. I've been just
fascinated,
tapped into the creativity from the Valley. Like and I'm an avid subscriber to or listener to the Ooh and Chew channel now.
Yeah.
Also the Collectors podcast. I listen, Dave. You guys have a great show. I watched the last episode. I didn't watch it live. I want to catch you guys live, but for some reason I don't get like the updates of when you guys are going live.
And they pop off.
But I do watch. I watch everything. I watch content for a living. So like, also I do. I watch multiple podcasts, listen to multiple podcasts, and you guys out there in the Valley, you guys got a lot of good things going on for you guys.
Everybody working hard, man. I always feel that, even from our little community, a lot of people doing a lot of big stuff, man.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine, Balde. They're doing some films. They did like a horror film that they've been working on for the last couple of days out in like the woods and shit. Well, we don't got woods. We just got Monte.
Yeah.
But
what is Monte? What is Monte? What is that?
Monte's like kind of like, you ever see those fucking, okay, straight up. Do you remember like that Bear Grylls episode where he was like, this is how you survive in the desert? And like, you see the desert, it's a bunch of rocks and shit, and it's like pretty flat, but like there's like these weird like little trees and cactus and stuff. Imagine that, just a little bit more of those trees and foliage.
Gotcha. Like
that's pretty much what Monte is just like mesquite trees, and mesquite trees don't grow very high. So it's maybe trees, I don't know, like just a good amount of trees. But this is the event that they're doing at the McAllen Convention Center that's going on this weekend. It's you know, I mean, they got some shit going on, man. They got some stuff that's real pretty. And
so for the people that are just listening and not watching, what exactly are we watching here?
This is an appreciation of Mexican heritage in the Valley that they do per year. This has been going on, I think, the third year already that they're having it. And fireworks display at the convention center that you see here. It's kind of like where a lot of the city hosts like the public concerts and things that are pretty big in McAllen. But in that area, they have like a big open water part in the middle that's kind of like just for the view. And then, of course, in that neighboring area is all like the hotels for the people that come in from out of town, that come into the airport, which is in McAllen. The McAllen airport flies literally right above this.
That's where
so when when the airport's flying in and people are flying in, they get to see this kind of like the lights at the bottom, like kind of like that little scene where they're like, oh shit, what's going on down there kind of moment. So the McAllen Convention Center always kind of has something like this going on.
That's cool.
But it's just, this one is pretty big when it comes to representing the Hispanic Mexican culture of the Valley, like the culture. Like, so it's going to be more where you'll see like I have a friend of mine that's literally there. Oz, shout out to Oz. He's a cosplayer. He's dressed up as Namor, even though, like, you know, Namor is kind of like not, the actor is kind of like in a weird position. He's out there dressed as the character because of the way the costume is. So he's out there, you know, and then they have like, you know, I guess break dancers. That's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, break dance. Oh, there he is. Like, a matter of fact, there he is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and it folds right into the same idea. Plus, like, Oz looks like the actor. Like, he literally
looks like him. Yeah, he
looks like him, like by the face. I've been hitting him up for months that he should do it, and I guarantee like he's probably a big hit right now.
Yeah.
So and like this event really isn't like a cosplay event, but since that character kind of embeds the Mexican culture and the Hispanic culture heritage,
it's accepted.
You can get away with it. You can literally get away with it. I just like I said, I had a friend of mine earlier that posted up. They did a 5K earlier in the day called the Neon Lights Run. They do that during, I'm guessing in the afternoon this time, or I would say in the morning. I hope, No,
actually, 5K run.
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. There's a lot of running that always happens down here in the Valley, dude.
Oh, so okay, so it's 8:30 at night. That makes a lot
so
of
that's
sense.
why they're doing like the neon lights and stuff like that. In 5Ks, only 3 miles.
I was thinking this was like during the
morning,
day.
Right?
Yeah, like we're hot as fuck.
Those neon lights ain't got. Oh, dude, yesterday was 105, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it was 105, Joe, man.
8:30 makes perfect sense. Trust me.
But even with that, look, the race just took off, and that's 8:30 at night. Look at how bright it is still.
but that's not as bad as it would be if it was like
If it was
1
if it
o'clock
was, like,
in the
during the
afternoon.
day,
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot, and then of course they have live band, live music. So like in this area, when you go around to the backside and you follow that curve, there is a amphitheater.
Yeah,
that's
Edward. He
outside.
said 3 miles as if like we can just. I can't run 3 miles, dude. I
3
can
miles,
barely
boys.
do it.
That's 3
You
miles.
can
Come on,
run
guys.
3 miles. You can run 3 miles.
Yeah,
right
I could. It's gonna take me a
Bullshit.
minute, but I could still.
now. Okay.
Come on,
All right.
man.
All right.
But that's
I
the
can't.
thing, boys. Like, okay, this is okay. So for me, like, yeah, it would be a struggle still because I don't really push myself athletically to just do running. But I can get up and get out there and do it, but it's going to take me a minute. But like, if you're not at least doing something that's a little bit athleticism, like, yeah, it's going to take you a minute. You know what I mean? It's going to be kind of rough, but yeah, these guys train for this shit. Man, that looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It does. I said the entire thing looks
Dude,
fucking cool.
I had a friend of
Like,
mine.
I would
I'm
go
not
to
gonna
this.
lie.
I would go to
He
this.
posted up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see.
Do they have like food and vendors and stuff like that, or is
Yes.
it just okay?
Check this
I
out.
would go straight for the food.
They just had look at so this is they have art on the inside of the convention center.
Mhm.
Like it's just crammed full of art. And then they have, of course, like the people dressed
that
in
looks
like the
beautiful.
Guatemalan kind of culture.
Yeah.
But they even have the fucking spinners, dude.
What is that?
So this is like a Mexican thing that like they tie ropes to their feet, they let the people spin and stuff like this is like showing the culture of the indios. Like this is
Okay.
something that they do for fun. This is like a dance. And
That's
they let them
pretty
swing,
cool.
and these people do like almost like synchronized swimming, but in the air.
I would get sick.
That's bad, right?
I would get sick.
So yeah, straight.
That's
man.
cool,
Like,
man.
I mean, it's a very big Hispanic heritage, Mexican culture, Aztec culture. A lot of bright colors, a lot of beautiful stuff. Like, and yeah, super recommended. Seems like a really fun event. I hope I get to get out there this weekend for some time. Brian, hopefully when you get to come down, we do something like that, and I don't take you to just an Applebee's or a Chili's and get you going in something cool culture wise, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
So less Chili's, more tacos. Man.
Just keep me the fuck away from Applebee's, and we're good.
All I know, dude, is when we bring you down, it's two things for sure: barbecue from a real barbecue place, and Mexican from a real Mexican place.
Fair enough.
Other than that, it's gonna be a fucking straight up barbecue where we like just cook for you, like the things that we eat, and then of course like all just the regular random shit. Ham's Arcade, meet up with all the like cool people and stuff. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, bro. It's gonna be good. Then we do a fucking live show.
It's funny. I was on yesterday. I am planning to get out there sometime this summer in the near future. I was trying to target for Labor Day weekend. Because I have that extra day. I think Labor Day, I looked yesterday, Labor Day falls on Monday this year, I believe. So I was going to come out for like a long weekend and then fly back Monday. So keep that on your radar. I may be out there for Labor Day.
I'm going to keep it. I'm going to be thinking. I'm going to go ahead and let me share the post real quick.
Hell yeah. So just keep me the fuck away from any Applebee's or Chili's, any chain restaurants. And I think I should have a good time.
That's fucking funny, dude.
I don't care how much the happy hour shit intrigues you, bro. Just keep me away from
Or what is it? The fucking margaritas and shit?
Yeah, or like
the we're not gonna have a margarita hour here, dude.
2 for 1s. Yeah, dude, we don't need that weekend.
All right, straight. Let's jump into our normal Bings of conversation. Triggs will probably be here in a little bit. I myself have not been able to catch up on 2 of these shows that we're talking about today. And I think Brian is only, we're going to be talking about 3 shows. We're going to be talking, of course, Twisted Metal, the Adam and Eve premiere that's coming out for Invincible Season 2, and The Witcher 2. So The Witcher Season 2. Now, in that, I think I haven't seen Twisted Metal, and I think Brian and Triggs has seen it. Same thing with the Adam and Eve. I haven't seen it, but you've seen it. And
Adam and Eve.
The same shit. You and Triggs have been able to see that one. And then for the Witcher, you haven't seen it yet, right?
I haven't watched it. I'm not going to watch The Witcher, but yeah.
And I know Trig saw it, and he got me to see it, telling me that it was good. So I'll cover that when he gets here. And I wanted him to talk about Twisted Metal, but
he hasn't seen Twisted Metal. I'm the only one that's seen it.
He hasn't seen it yet? So you're the only one that's seen it?
I'm the only one that watched it, yeah.
So Brian.
Sir.
I got to ask you.
Please.
I've seen some good stuff about it.
Have you?
Tell us about the Twisted Metal premiere. Is it worth it? What did you think about it? What was your intention going in, and what did you get out of it the first time and stuff like that? So,
okay, so just off the bat, they dropped the entire season. So you can binge watch this entire season. It's 10
God bless them.
episodes. It's 10 episodes. They're about a half hour each, so it's not a long watch per episode. Um, I only got a chance to watch the first episode, and I watched it before we got on today. And I must say, Chris, well, before I give my review, let me ask you a question, sir. When I say to you, they're coming out with a Twisted Metal show, what's the first thing you're thinking of? Like, what do you think that show is going to consist of, and what it's going to be about?
I think of Pixels, the movie Pixels.
How so?
And that movie was really bad. It's like Battleship. Remember when they made the Battleship movie?
I do.
When they come up with these movies that when you played them, they didn't really have like there wasn't like an attention on the story. It was just knowing that a computer or a program can do this and offer it to people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very basic. It's not like it was like 3D or, you can't even tell if like a villain by color or race or by culture or anything. Like it's just shapes on a computer screen.
Okay.
You kind of just play the game for what it's worth. You're just like, all right, I'm just going to play it. Twisted Metal, of course, was a little bit different because it was during a time where like PlayStation 1, graphics were a lot better. I think it was
super
like
big game.
It was like 128 gigabyte. No, like frame. What is it? A pixels? Like the pixels was not like a Nintendo. Wasn't like a Super Nintendo. It was at least good graphics.
But safe to say that it was kind of revolutionary of its time.
Yeah, hell yeah, it was revolutionary at the time. Like you might have gotten like a racing game, but you never got like that destroy TV. Fucking huge apocalyptic, like just mayhem.
It was just mayhem.
Fighting characters. Yeah, it was like
perfect
it was like,
way to describe that.
Yeah, it was complete utter craziness, dude. Because I
pick
just
your
remember
car
like,
and then just shoot each other
and just shoot each other. Yeah, and the maps were pretty big, and they weren't like you weren't on a track. You were just out in the open, like, yo, just keep going wherever you want and just shoot each other, flip off of shit. And yeah, it was wild, but it was a fun fucking game.
It was.
But I don't think anybody ever played that because they were like, hey, man, I really want to know what this story's about. Like, that's not what you played it. You just played it for the low attention deficit disorder and just go out and shoot some shit. Just pretty shit, explosions, and go. I enjoyed the shit out of this kid. In fact, if I played it right now, I'd probably still enjoy it.
Yes. I think that was the appeal. And I think that was very smart of PlayStation, or Sony, I should say, to do, is to have a game of like that, especially of a new system that had that much power behind it in that game that just offered a lot to people. But yeah, off of the back of that, which I think is a good description of what we all know the game to be, when you're jumping into the show, you really don't know what to expect. So my expectations were low. Like, I'm talking about like beneath the ground low.
Yeah, they weren't like The Last of Us or anything like that.
Exactly. It wasn't anything that I was looking forward to. But I must say, after watching the first episode, they got me. I'm hooked.
It was good.
It was good, dude. I'm not bullshitting you guys like this. And granted, it was the first episode, right? So this can go downhill really quickly. But that first episode, like I was telling you, Chris, they get straight to the point. The world building is kind of endless at this point, from what I can tell. And within like the first like 25 seconds, they give you the synopsis. They give you of what's going on, what world you're in, why they're doing what they're doing, and here's gonna be what the show is gonna be about. They tell you in the first 25 seconds. That I appreciate, because I'm not looking for anything. Like, I'm not looking for this in-depth synopsis of what we're doing here. I need to know why we're here and are we gonna get to the shits? And they do. They get straight to it. Anthony Mackie, I've been a Anthony Mackie fan for a very long time. I thought this was going to be like a career ending.
He is so good.
I thought this was going to be like a career ending situation for him, but he knocks it out the park in the first episode. Like,
he has such a way that, I mean, he gets it.
He does.
I think, in my opinion, like Anthony Mackie, there's a couple dudes that pull it off really well. It's Robert Downey Jr. Tom Holland does it pretty well, and so does what's his name? The guy that plays Cumberbatch, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, Benedict. Okay.
Like him, of course, Don Cheadle. Those guys all have a miraculous way of like like hitting it. Like when it comes to delivering lines or comedy or whatever, they have such like a dry humor and boom, give it to you, that it always comes out funny no matter what. Like they just know how to deliver comedy, and they don't do it like a comedian. Like you're not looking at them and you're being like, oh, that's Will Ferrell, ha ha ha. You're looking at it and you're like, no, this is Oscar award winning fucking dude that's gonna do Shakespearean shit, and he's delivering comedy in such a serious manner that it's funny. That's why that's the main thing that got me with the Winter Soldier and the Falcon show, is Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan are both excellent at bouncing a comedy off of each other. Like better than the way it was with Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan.
Okay.
Like their comedy to get, man, do they kill it? So like, but yeah, like you said, like I've been a pretty big fan. I think the introduction of, I mean, I know that he did like 8 Mile and he did several other stuff. He did, there was a show that he did on Netflix where he's like a cyborg. I don't know if you guys see that, Altered Carbon or something like that.
I've heard of it. I didn't watch it.
It's not too bad, but like the introduction to him to the Marvel universe really got me more into him as an actor, because at the time I knew what the Falcon was, and Anthony Mackie, I knew what he was casually as an actor, but to see him save that character and rebreathe, like if anybody to care about it again, like the way he did, like I was like, yo, this guy's gold. Like this guy can literally, like he can save a lot of shit.
My first introduction to Anthony Mackie was, he made this movie a long time ago. It's called She Hate Me. Right?
Okay.
Quick story. That movie is fucking phenomenal. And I'm gonna tell you what it's about really quick. It's about a guy that creates his own service where he impregnates women.
Oh God!
And so they hire,
like, oh God,
they hire his service just to get pregnant. And it sounds silly, but it's a really great movie. And Anthony Mackie is he's the guy that's the guy, and it's funny as fuck. But yes, so going back to piggybacking off of what you're saying, just take those parts of the Captain America movies that he's in and Falcon and Winter Soldier, those interactions where he's funny, magnify that by like 10.
Oh man, that's gonna be great already.
So yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Exactly. So you take those parts, you magnify it by 10. You just unleash him. You unleash that version of him. You unleash it into a world where it's just mayhem and carnage, and it's funny. It's good. There's some really funny parts in the first episode. There's actually some really good acting in the first episode. It's got some really big name actors in this show that show up within the first episode, and it's really good. I highly recommend at least giving it a try. Again, this show can just fall off the rails really quickly, and there is opportunity for that to happen because it's just mayhem. It's
kind of like out of this world kind of stuff.
It's just all over the place. But from the first episode, I would say give it a try.
So from the first episode itself, like without giving too many spoilers, like what would you say for the synopsis of the story? Like what is it that we're kind of getting ourselves into if we haven't seen it yet?
Okay. Mark, what's up from the Chew and Ooh podcast? I just gave you guys a shout out, by the way. You guys have a really great show. I just gave you guys a shout out. So the synopsis of the show, without giving too much away, it's of course an apocalyptic event happened. Where all the major cities shut down, right? They border their cities and leave all of the convicts and the criminals outside of each city.
Very Judge Dredd.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Very Judge Dredd. Oh shit.
So the roads and everything outside of these major cities are just inhabited by the worst of the worst.
Outlaws, criminals, like the Wild West kind of shit.
Wild West. That's exactly
that's all right. That sounds good already, man.
The Wild West. And then you have these people that do these runs to bring these cities their supplies.
Okay.
And that's what Anthony Mackie is. He's a runner. He's a milkman. He goes from city to city. Like that's what he's called. So they go from city to city, taking exports and imports or whatever, and they deliver them to these cities, and that's how they get their supplies. That's how they get their money, their gas, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And so the interaction with all the outlaws in the the outside. That's like
That's the mayhem.
That's the mayhem, and
Yeah.
then even the interaction with the cities themselves is kind of the mayhem as well.
Oh
Because
shit.
like these cities think like they're better than everybody, and they got rid of everybody, so they look at people like, oh, you're nothing, you're down there, whatever. And it's basically about just the life on the road in the midst of, you know, these outlaws that are just running the streets. And
Oh shit.
Sweet Tooth is kind of like the outlaw of Vegas. So you got to go through
He's the
Vegas.
big cat.
Yeah, so you got to
Yeah,
get
he's the
through
big cat.
Vegas to get east. And that's basically what Mackie is trying to do. He's trying to get east for whatever reason. I won't spoil that, but he's trying to get east to complete a mission, but you have to go through Vegas. So after the first episode, he's already in Vegas, and he met Sweet Tooth. He already knows who he is. It's not like a first encounter. He knows who Sweet Tooth is. He knows how much of a badass he is. And
Yeah.
the first episode ends with him interacting with Sweet Tooth.
Is like the Sweet Tooth character, we know that he's the actor, or not actor, the wrestler Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
I've heard great things about him in this part of this TV show, but in my opinion, I was kind of like, I was asking you this off camera, but like, is this Sweet Tooth character, because of the way he was in the video game, was he was very much like this, almost like supernatural Jason Voorhees, like has like some weird like powers or something. Is he very much like a grounded person? Like, because in the trailers when I would see it, he reminded me more of like the Psycho from Borderlands.
Yeah,
like he's more like a grounded psychopath kind of dude.
So it's more, I think everybody in this, even though how outlandish this show is, everyone's grounded. They're all just human beings. They're all just out there.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want it to be too crazy. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're all just doing their shit. But he does have a reputation as being a badass. You know, he's a psycho.
Yeah, he's just like a crazy person.
Yeah, he's just a crazy. He's just probably just the craziest of them all.
It's like a Deadpool manhunt. Yeah, that's what he reminded me of.
You know what I'm saying? So he created a name for himself, and you know that he runs Vegas. So if you got to go east, you got to go through Vegas at this point, and you gotta interact with them, and he doesn't fuck around. So
roughly, okay. And the only thing I want to ask other than that, I mean, yeah, like I want to ask you the length of the shows, but like, so we understand that this is going to be like a show mainly about cars and like probably like car stunts and stuff. How does it apply when it comes to like the way the graphics and the CG, if they're using CG, and of course like the stunt work and all that stuff? Like, does it look cheesy or does it look like, yo, it's pretty good?
So there are some cheesy CGI. There is a specific scene where Anthony Mackie is on the road and he pulls over by like the beach or some shit like that, and he sees like a group of seals. I'm going to spoil this. There's like a group of seals that he sees, and he takes it in like, oh, that's beautiful. And then one like little seal comes up to him, and he's looking at it, and it's a CGI. Of course, they can't get a real seal.
Yeah, fucking get a real seal.
So it's a CGI seal that looks kind of wonky, and then he ends up like cooking it because he's got to eat. He kills it and eats the shit.
Would have been funny if he like fucking if it just came into him and it was like 8-bit or something, like just real cheese. Like that would have been funny as fuck.
That would be funny
if it looked like the CG from the video game.
But there is some parts that are video game-esque. Like when it's very fast paced. So when you're watching a car, when it's like a wide shot or a backed out scene of the car getting from place to place, it's going extremely fast, as in like a cutscene from a video game.
Okay, like a very like
exactly
like panning shots and
like going like 300 miles per hour, like a thing. It's extremely cool. Yeah, I liked it.
So it comes out pretty good.
Yeah, and speaking to the length of the episodes, I am a huge fan of short episodes, 30 minutes.
Okay.
In and out. Okay. In and out. I love it. You don't got to go too much. It's perfect. Keep every episode 30 minutes. The premiere is 30 minutes. It's great.
If anybody in the comment sections, if you've seen the entire series or you've binge watched it, let us know in the comment section what you guys thought of the show overall. From what it sounds like, the first episode sounds like a nice banger. It sounds like something cool to just be able to kind of like kick it, relax, kick back a couple drinks, buy some pizza, have a good time, and just watch something that's just silly.
Just don't take it too serious. Just go with it.
We got Triggs. Triggs finally made it in. Here he is. The man, the
Here
myth,
she
legend.
goes.
Triggs,
There
what
it
is up, my dude?
Got the
What's going
haircut.
on, man?
Got,
Yeah,
got,
look at that
got,
haircut,
that
man.
got that interview Eric haircut. I like it, bro.
Yeah,
That
how
new-
do I
that new
sound,
job.
guys?
Oh, it sounds good. A little loud, but not too bad.
Angelic. You sound angelic, bro.
Okay, let me turn down my
There you
mic.
go. There you go.
just
Right
a
there. It's
second.
good.
Right there? Okay, good,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good. Yeah,
You sound
dude. So like I wish I could. I mean, I'm gonna try and show you guys my desk right now. I don't even have my computer right now.
No, it's
Like-
all good, dude. Don't worry about it. You just moved
Dude,
back, didn't you?
What are you running off of then?
A fucking laptop.
Yeah,
Looks
that
good.
works. Yeah, it works.
No,
It
I'm
looks
using my camera. Guys, you will not fucking believe what I accidentally did.
This is
Yeah,
good.
you just-
I left my computer in Belton.
Why'd you do that?
'Cause I'm a moron.
Oh, okay.
He was
I just
he
thought you
was
meant
so
you did that
quick
shit.
to get the fuck out of
Yeah,
there,
you
bro.
were
He's
so
like, man,
excited
yo,
to get
keep
out of there
it,
that
yo.
you just left all your shit there.
Keep it, yo. You guys
No,
can have
dude.
it.
So it's obviously it's at my sister's house,
Yeah, I
right?
was gonna say. I know it's just.
But like my sister, like I was like when I was unpacking my shit, I was like, yeah, dude, I got all my stuff. I'm gonna fucking load up my computer. It's gonna be
And that
sick,
one moment, when you
yeah,
realize,
and I'm like, where the fuck is my computer? And then I call my sister and I was like, Mia, can you go downstairs and see if something is down there by the fireplace? And she's like, what'd you forget, Pidge? And I was like, God, I hope not. And so she like goes downstairs, she like turns the corner and she's big faced. And I was like, God damn it. Just her face alone tells me. I was like,
how far
That's
was
when you know
that
you smoke
drive?
too much, man.
6.5 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yo,
that's
you
when
better you better FedEx that shit, bro.
Yeah, you know you smoke way too much, dude. When you leave a whole ass like $1,000 computer behind, dude.
Bro, multiply that times 10, my guy.
Yeah, you better.
Well, you,
FedEx
you
that,
can
bro.
multiply it by anything. That just means you smoke too goddamn much, man.
And I'm not even smoking THC.
With the bigger
dude.
the number, that's drinking too much, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so real quick, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine here in the Valley. This is what I was talking about, dude. My friend Baldemar is working with these guys. They're a band called Popular Loner, and they got together and they're doing
Oh, they were the
horror
ones
film.
that were they were the ones at the on the
the
Ooh and
horror
Chew.
film, yeah.
They were at
Yeah,
the
so-
Ooh
so
and Chew.
Look at this dude. Look at the villain. It looks good, man. I mean, I don't know how far, but like again, like you look at the background, dude. Like it's literally what Monte is. They're probably like in a
So
cemetery.
that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, they're hanging out at a cemetery filming and shit. Yeah, so, and like I've said before, like the cool thing about the Valley is like people don't ask you for permits or all that stuff when it comes to filming on your own. So like if you can get a group of like-minded people together, like
you guys
you
can just
can
go
make,
wild. Yeah.
you can make some crazy shit, dude. And you don't even have to like output any cash, like other than just needing it for gear,
Your production.
wardrobe, and et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. Like, dude, you can pull off a lot of cool shit. So shout out to Baldemar. That's this gentleman in the camera right here, or I think he's in here somewhere. And these guys, Popular Loner, they're a local band that's been kind of popping off pretty well these last couple of months.
So
They've,
when we had Chew on, or
they had these guys on their show.
They had them on. Those are the
Yeah,
ones
that's the
that,
dudes, yeah.
that were using his leg as a bong. Those are the
Mhm.
guys that were using his
Yeah,
leg. as a
those
bong.
are the dudes. Yeah, that's
Those are
Popular
the guys.
Loner, man. They're
Yeah.
they're out there doing work, man. And I gotta give a shout out when people are on that grind and they're making things happen. Like, no, I gotta give it to them, man. Gotta give it to them. So shout out to the Popular Loner guys. Shout out to Baldemar, my boy from First Class Cinema. He's always out there doing hard work, inspirational shit. And one more fucking shout out. I have a friend of mine named Atreyu, right? I'm gonna go to Instagram real quick. I'm gonna show you this because I was so happy for this kid. He is a cosplayer from down here, and he is a huge Five Nights at Freddy's guy. So he worked on, I don't know if you guys know this, or I know we've talked about this before. You guys aren't like huge fans, but you guys understand the story. But
I don't think anyone really understands the story of Five Nights.
it's kind of a little out there, yeah. So
Yeah. That's like
It's
that's
kinda
like saying like people truly understand what Dune is about.
that's funny. Well, it's crazy, yeah, because the guy that runs this, the Scott whatever, the guy that does it. Well, this is Atreyu.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, no, not Scott Pilgrim. What the fuck, dude? No, Scott Hoffman. He's the one that runs the Five Nights at Freddy's game. He's the guy that created it. Well, this is
Yeah, Scott
Atreyu.
Pilgrim.
He's been a cosplayer. This kid's like, He's from the Valley, and he's done some. I mean, that's a cosplay, bro. Like that's a whole 300. That's a 3D printed like a 3D printed cosplay.
That should be a
Five Nights
fucking
at Freddy's.
Comic-Con, dude. That's a
And
Comic-Con.
this guy's won Comic-Con like 3 times
I
here
can
in the
see
Valley.
why.
And this is him right here working with a guy, Justin Stream Music, J Stream Music, but he just got credited in the new DLC.
Very nice.
This is from the fucking Valley, dude. Like making moves, like working with the DLC for the Ruins DLC, the free DLC they just released, which is one of like the top 3 downloads for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Like, so shout out to Treyu for his hard work and dedication, man. Like, I gotta give it to him. Fucking good kid. And yeah, that's about it. But Triggs, gotta ask, man, did you get to see Twisted Metal yet or no?
No, I have not seen Twisted Metal. I will see it right after this.
Have you heard anything about it?
Nah, man, I really haven't. Like
That's weird, too.
The marketing for that is very small.
Yeah.
Very,
It's-
very
it's
small.
out there, yeah.
Extremely
I've seen it a
isolated.
little bit, but not too much. I didn't know
Exactly.
it was
This is
coming
the
out
problem.
yet.
Exactly.
I think that's what Triggs is talking about. Like,
That's
no
the,
one
that's
even,
the problem.
Yeah, no one
Like,
even knew. It was
dude,
coming out.
it wasn't on my YouTube, it wasn't on my Facebook, my Twitter, my TikTok, nothing, dude. It wasn't around any of that shit. But I mean, Secret Invasion was all over the fucking place.
Yeah, for all the wrong
Yeah,
reasons.
Secret
though.
Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we're
you know
gonna talk
what?
about
Even
that
for
one.
those reasons too, dude.
Yeah, for all the wrong
Dune
reasons. But
is
I will
100% goated.
I will definitely say it's worth the watch. Again, I only watched the first episode. It's definitely worth the
You
watch.
fuck with it.
East Wonderland.
I'm fucking with it. It's really good.
All right.
So you're watching it. Where is it at? It's on Peacock for streaming. If you guys have it, it's the entire season's already dropped. If you check it out, tag us. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys gonna leave a review anywhere,
Oh, that's good. So it's
Yeah,
bingeable?
I was just about to
it's
say
100%
Triggs,
bingeable, dude.
it's
Oh,
all
dude,
10
that's
episodes
fucking
and they're
amazing.
only like 30-minute episodes. So it's not like long watches, dude. Yeah, it's like not long.
Yeah, dude,
Adrian
I
in the
fuck-
comments
dude, I
section
I
says,
fuck with that heavy, dude.
Yeah.
Adrian Garcia, thank you for coming on the show, man. Appreciate you. Says Dune is goated, man. I'm just afraid it's gonna suck, and I love Twisted Metal. Actually, from what I've heard, I haven't seen any of them yet, but Brian just dropped some information about the first episode. He really dug it and working into part 2. Robert in the comments section, he's a pretty good guy when it comes to understanding film stuff.
Dude, this
too. He
guy
really likes
watches
his stuff.
all the
He's in
stuff
the
that
episode.
we're
He
gonna
watches
watch
everything dude.
before we watch it.
He watches
And he's
And
like,
he
"Bro,
really
let me
he
tell
said
you
he
all."
said he really likes it. He's in episode 2 also. Then I have another friend of mine online that left a review, and he said he saw the entire thing and enjoyed it from beginning to end. That there's a little bit of stuff in between that's like it can get a little wonky, but it's no fucking Secret
Is there any
Invasion.
cringe, dude? Like, like
There's-
Brian, from what you saw, like any
So
cringe?
in the first episode, there's nothing cringe except for maybe the little bit of CGI that was a little bit cringe. But other than that, it was top notch. I give the first episode probably like a 9 or 8 out of 10.
All right, how do you rank this against Civil War? Or sorry, no, not Civil War. Secret Invasion.
Secret
episode one.
Invasion, the last episode.
No, episode
The whole
1.
season.
Episode 1 versus episode 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Secret Invasion episode 1. I would probably give. Shit, man, I really like this first episode from Twisted Metal, dude. I think they're about even. I would give them both. No, I'd probably give Twisted Metal the edge here.
Yeah.
I'd probably give Twisted Metal the edge here.
yeah.
1000%. Yeah,
I was gonna say I pretty much forgot about Secret Invasion episode 1.
yeah.
So
It
I
ain't-
can't
it
even
ain't
remember
hard
what it's
to.
about.
It ain't hard to.
The energy for tonight
I
is just how
liked it.
bad the ending of Secret Invasion was.
Listen. All right, listen. We're gonna later on. We're gonna shit on Secret Invasion, but it's going to be my task to keep intact the
He's like, I'm
integrity,
gonna play
the
devil's
integrity of
advocate,
this
man.
conversation. All right,
Dude,
I
you know
can't
what?
get
And
too
I'm
off
gonna
the rails.
try. I'm gonna try and be with you there, Brian. But I'm gonna tell
it's
you,
gonna be hard.
I'm probably
It's gonna be
gonna
hard.
fail.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
I
gonna
don't
be
even
hard.
know. Like,
It's
I'm
gonna
telling
be
you guys,
hard.
like,
It's gonna be
for the
hard.
last couple of times, I've been like shitting on the show a little bit, but like, I haven't been
little
that
bit?
bad when it comes to the way you guys rate it. You guys rate it real crazy, dude. I at least rated a little bit higher than you guys.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't know why they're asking for raises for that show. But on to the next part of the conversation. So Twisted Metal for sure, a banger.
It's a must watch.
Watcher.
It's a must watch.
Binge watch show, 10 episodes, 30 minutes.
What have we covered so far?
That's
Other
it.
than Twisted
Oh,
Metal?
that's it. Yeah, me and Brian were just talking about the fights that are coming up this weekend. I talked about MXLAN, the Mexiclan, the show, the thing that's going on at the convention center here in the Valley. It's Triggs was like, Fuck all that cultural shit. I don't give a fuck.
I'm
about
over
all
here
that
like,
shit.
that looks
No,
dope,
I
it's
don't
dope,
deal with any
bro.
of them Mexicans over there, dude.
No, dude,
No,
I
it's,
was in Austin,
Mexican
bro.
heritage.
Give me more
It's-
culture.
I'm getting sauced up when I go over there, dude. I'll do a
Yeah,
bunch
dude.
of drugs and just see a bunch of pretty colors. I'm ready to
That
go.
was fucking amazing.
This motherfucker doesn't
was
like the show,
amazing.
but leaves his fucking $20,000 computer in fucking some other country or wherever he's at. Shit, man. I'm gonna like that show. Okay, going into this, so Twisted Metal, good. Boys, how did you like Adam Eve, the Invincible premiere show for season 2? Everyone is super excited. The Invincible series on Prime was a smash hit for the first season.
Beginning to
We
fucking
had-
end,
we
dude.
got
It
a
was
trailer for
high.
San Diego
Dude,
Comic Con for
it's so
the
good.
second season, and we also got a release of a premiere episode based on the character Adam Eve, which is the love interest for the main character Invincible. Guys, I haven't seen it, but you guys have. Go for it, man. You guys take
I'm
this.
gonna let you. Triggs is ready to go.
Yeah, let
Go
it
ahead,
cook,
Triggs.
dude.
Go.
Honestly, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I knew Adam Eve's powers, you know, before like when I was reading the comic books, right? So like I knew what her
But-
power set was, but past that, I never knew how she got them, like, or never remembered how she got them. And so like it was never really a big thing with me. Obviously, the title for Invincible is called Invincible, so it was kind of like my main focus. More worrying about the Viltrumites, Mark Grayson, stuff with him, and like when you ever really care about Adam, about her is because like something bad is happening and she happens to be involved. Like there's a few times, like I'm not going to go into spoilers, but there's a few times that things happen and he's directly involved, and then you kind of care a little bit more about the character outside of like the fact that she's just a fucking powerhouse and she is with Mark Grayson. And so this gave a really, really cool, good highlight to her character in a sense that you really, really understand why she's super, super serious about her like super heroing when Mark kind of comes into this, because she's kind of a bitch to him. Like at first, she's like, dude, like,
Yeah, she's pretty hard.
like you're a fucking poser, dude. Like, like we've been doing this for a while and you need to respect the fact that like you're a superhero and you don't do that. And so she really lays into him, and this episode really shows you why.
What did you think of her power set early on as a kid?
Real quick in the comment section, Adrian asks if Invincible season 2 is out.
No, it's not. It's not going to be out till I think November. This was just like a pre-release, like kind of teaser for season 2, but it's focused specifically on on Adam Eve.
So, Triggs, the question.
Yes.
Her power set. What did you think?
I mean, I already knew her power set going in, so like it wasn't, anything.
But as a like show, all right, let me clean that up. Showing the development of how she gained her power set. What did you think of that?
I thought that was cool. Like, I thought it was. I'm not gonna say unoriginal or anything like that because we've kind of seen shit like that before.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know that's how she had gotten them. So for
Yeah.
me, that was a huge like, oh, cool. Didn't know that. So there was a lot of like, okay, cools, like in the episode for me. I really liked how she did everything. I really, really liked the fact that we got to hear Lance Reddick's voice again.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, for the people who don't know, RIP, Mr. Lance Reddick, unfortunately passed this year. And like it was very, very cool to hear his voice again, especially in a character that, even in a minor character, as to me as important as Invincible is, because I mean, if they were to re-release or even do anything with Invincible right now, I'll eat that shit up, dude.
I think that's the consensus with a lot of people. We're all looking forward to Invincible. I will agree with you. This I don't know what you call it, just an episode, a show. I don't know what you
I'll
call
call it
this.
a
This is truly a filler episode, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad that they gave it to us, dude.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think that although, like you said, it's kind of nothing new when it comes to like an origin story, I think that it works extremely well. I think it fits right in with all the other Invincible characters. We even get like cameos from other well-known Invincible characters, which is fucking awesome. And I'm going to agree. I saw the comment Jeremy put. He said, feels like her powers should have came out that much more during Invincible because she can basically go Super Saiyan. And I think I said this to Chris in pre-production because in the show she's kind of secluded, right? She's kind of like, it seems
Well,
as
she
though
does that. She does that to herself.
I
you
get
know,
that. I get that.
And
But
this is like angsty teenager shit going on.
I get that, and I understand that, and I but it kind of makes it feel as though like she has her own story that she's dealing with, her own arc over there. She doesn't really feel integrated with the Invincible story, other than, you know, the love interest as, you know, Invincible. But in this story, dude, she goes like binary,
dude. Yeah,
she
she's
goes
a
like
boss.
binary power type
Yeah.
shit. And she goes bananas, bro. And I really, really enjoyed that part of the story. Like the big fight scene on the bridge, and when you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. That
It's sick, dude.
scene is amazing. And
Yeah,
I will
that
put
was sick,
that,
dude.
I will put that scene, and I might get killed for this. I will put that fight scene up against some of the best fight scenes in Invincible, and I might have a leg to stand on here. That was really, really, really good. The only fight scene that comes to my mind that's better than that is the Omni-Man Invincible scene where like the whole
The train and all that shit.
the train shit, that was
Yeah.
kind of like unbeatable.
I would have
You
to
can't-
say Battle
can't beat
Beast as well.
Battle Beast is good. You know what? I will take this, and I love that. I forgot about that fucking.
I fucking battle.
Dude, I was
forgot
about to be
that. I
like,
forgot
dude,
about that.
like
That's the
I
only
know what
reason
you're
I
Battle
like
saying,
Beast is in the goddamn
but I
show.
really
liked
have
it.
to like, I really have to say the Battle Beast fight scene was fucking.
I'm still going to edge this one out over the Battle Beast scene, even though that was a fucking great scene. I'm probably this bridge scene. I'll probably edge that out over the Battle Beast scene.
I can see that you're trying not to.
I'm
what you're
trying not
doing.
to.
Yeah,
I
you're
want to
trying
stick
not
to
to, and I respect that. My whole eye, I respect
But that's
that.
the thing is like Battle Beast is supposed to be this like OP character that doesn't pay off until like way later in the
Later
Ultraman
on, though,
War, like
dude.
super far in.
Like that's
They just
why,
put him
like,
in and they're just like that's
Okay,
like
okay, I have a question.
them doing the Avengers movie and then all of a sudden like they establish Apocalypse
I have a
and
question.
they're just like, yo, we're just gonna throw Apocalypse in the group like real quick, and he just like tanks all the guys. Dude.
I have a question really quick. Do we think this is kind of stupid, but do we think that Battle Beast scene hit so hard because we didn't see? Well, you guys read the fucking comics, so you guys
Yeah, I
saw
know
that
what you mean.
coming. But for me, it hit harder because I did not see that coming. I didn't
Well,
know how
dude,
much of a badass he was until after that scene. I was like, holy shit.
well, here's the thing, dude, and like, let me give a little bit of context to that fight.
Please.
So one, that fight is like 30 chapters early. Two, Mark has nothing to do with that fight. It's like Invincible has nothing to do with that fight.
Okay.
The person that gets hurt is was it like Rick Sampson or whatever, the
Yeah.
black guy,
yeah.
and that ogre girl,
Yeah.
you know, and it's them two.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the
Those are
ones that
the
get
two
torn
that
up.
really get hurt, and that's it. And like, I mean, granted, yes, like the other members of the team, but like he's not involved in that fight whatsoever. So
Okay.
like the fact that it happened to him, I was saying this when you know, like, oh man, dude, this is like the beginning parts of like when we had just started the show. Was that like I think that they had done that scene specifically to highlight the fact that Invincible does not know what the fuck he's doing. That was the fight to show.
And not
he's
only that,
really in
but
over his
Battle
head.
Beast is not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
He's not
And
to be
like,
fucked
but
with.
he's a very honorable guy though. Like, like he's, you know, he's either gonna leave you alone. He's kind of like Akuma.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Well,
fight you.
the thing about okay, so Battle Beast was created to be like a super ghost character in the background. Like he looks like those really corny 1970s Flash Gordon fighting a lion in space kind of shit. And it was supposed to be just a corny thing, and then all of a sudden when you fight him, he's just he is the dude, you know what I mean? But that's because he fights the Vulturemites in space, and in the Vulturemite story up in space, that's very much like a cosmic Flash Gordon, people going between different cultures and different alien species and banging and having babies. It's very much like an old school, like like Flash Gordon or like the Venture Brothers kind of like ideal. And that's why that character has that kind of like that resemblance to that kind of, even the old school like club that he carries. Like it's very much like primordially like a Space Ghost Coast to Coast character.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean, like. But yeah, they wrote him in so well, dude, because he's just so overpowered. But
he reminds me of like an early 1990s character, like cartoon character or something like that.
Yeah, like just those really corny, like two-dimensional
cat things that rode around in jets. Do you remember that stupid fucking TV show back in the
something
day?
like that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, except he's a fucking hoss.
He's
exactly like he really does some damage.
Yeah, he beats
ass. But he fucking carries his own shit.
John, but like the reason that I say that he's very Akuma-like is because like when he fights you, like he's gonna fight you.
He's only in for the battle,
either to the death or till you yield.
Yeah,
and like that's
only in it for the battle.
Yeah, like he's in for the fight. And like when you can't fight anymore, like he's done. That's why he stopped with Mark. He was like,
I was gonna say he didn't he give Mark the option of like just stopping. He needed to tell him like, yo,
because he knew he was gonna kill him. It was like a throwaway life,
bro.
And he knows he's a Vulturemite because he's dealt with them before, so he knows what they can do. So he knows he's like a youngling or whatever. So he's like, all right, dude, you can yield. Like, I don't want to kill you. Like, I'll give you time to grow or whatever. Real Akuma, like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. John in the comment section says, for those who haven't seen the show, can any of you provide a backstory? And is it from a comic book or a game? So Invincible is based on a comic book that's very much kind of like the story of Superman, except Superman comes from a culture like Injustice where they're very imperialistic and they want to conquer everybody. So what they do is they send one of their kind to every
planet everywhere.
Like, every planet that they know has some type of life, they send them there to embed themselves, become a part of the culture, become a person of importance, and then conquer the whole thing individually. If they need help, they'll come in with the armada. If not, it's pretty much Invader Zim. Like, they just show up, one person, and they can pretty much take out the whole culture.
But this is also the really crazy thing about the Viltrumites. They can breed with anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah,
they doesn't matter if it's a fucking
cross-pollinate with any creature,
a fucking cat, a dog.
Yeah, they're pretty much the most perfect being in the planet. Now, what happens is the main man, which is Omni-Man, the father, actually falls in love with the human being and then has a son and actually falls in love with his son. So, like, the idea is like he really has a lot of heart that he doesn't want to kill them in the end.
Love with them.
Oh yeah, he is. That's why he chooses to leave, because it's the love factor that kind of like. That doesn't. Everything else in that culture that's outside of it is based on the idea of species, but humanity's thing is they have love. Like during the whole story, like since they have love, that's the only defining factor throughout the whole entire thing. Adam, Eve, and Invincible himself falling in love, like them creating a whole new like Imperium later on when he becomes the king of the Viltrumites. Like his brother being like a Viltrumite, but being abnormally weak because of the person his dad breeded with. Like there's just everything that the humanity has is just based on the factor of like it's a fucking anime. It's all love, dude. Love wins battles or whatever, friendship and all that other shit. But it's all very space oriented, like the whole show. So it's very good, dude. The comic book is wild. The reason why I say is because in the very beginning, they had a way they were going to do the thing and it got really popular. So then they were like, fuck, what do we do? Like, we want to fix some stuff so we can keep the story going. So then they installed time travel, and that's what gave like a really cool, like Nick to be able to expand the story even longer and fix all the things they wanted to fix in the first run. So now that they have the series, I think the series is even fixing more of the time traveling debacle, and it's going to clean that up to be a bigger hit.
That was also the crazy thing. Like people think that like the time travel thing was a permanent thing, and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Like, cause like he goes back in time, and like this is spoilerish, but it's not, because there's already a lot different that's going on like in the show as compared to the comic. Like most notable, and like I really have to say this because this was like a really big, like a big thing when it came to Omni-Man and Invincible, because like Omni-Man is trying to train Invincible, and there's like one point where like he's like, oh well, there's like this kid with a fucking bomb strapped to him, and we have to like get him away and figure out a way to take the bomb off, and his dad's like, fuck that,
and fucking throws the kid and everything up in his face,
and boom, he explodes, and he's like, nope, we're not gonna deal with that. That kid was gonna die.
Invincible
couldn't
is
save
pretty
him, and
much
fuck.
the entire aspect of Omni-Man. His whole entire existence when he's dealing with stuff as a hero is that one scene in The Boys that's the airplane scene. Like, that's the way he deals with all his problems. Like, he just knows that the one factor is, oh, well, just get rid of the problem no matter what, like, to the top-notch idea. So, like, that bomb scene is like 100% where that's that little hidden part that they're trying to do with Freelander or Homelander. Like in all the Boys show, like they try to hide that. Volt, what is it? Volt? Yeah, Volt's always trying to hide that from the public eye, even though that they just can't control this guy. Omni-Man just doesn't have anybody that filters that out for him. So wild.
Nor
shit.
does he really care. But like it's like for him, it was more like his justification was that like we really couldn't save this kid. It was gonna take too long to save this kid, and we could have lost everyone else. So I made the conscious decision of one life over many.
Right.
And so like that's why it was kind of like fuck. His dad, like, he was like, bro, that's brutal. But more into like the time travel thing that I was talking about, like the time travel thing happens, he fixes a lot of things and he grows as a character, and then it comes back. And then like the time travel entity gives him a choice, like you can stay here and you can live the life that you fixed. And it'll be cool. And he was like, yeah, but I won't have my kid. So bye. And yeah, he just goes back in time and he goes back to the shit one.
So John says he hasn't seen The Boys. Invincible and The Boys are just two variations of a rated R Superman. With Invincible being a little bit more
TNA Superman, bro. Like,
but the thing is I guess, yeah, I think Adrian gets it right when he says that Invincible's a little bit more of like family oriented. Like, there's a lot more like things that relatable morals and stuff like that. The Boys, wild, man.
I do think that in this Adam Eve episode, the family thing, I liked how that all tied together. Like it's just like you said, the Invincible show itself is about family, but
family.
so was this episode as well. It was very family orientated. It was very, a young girl in the world growing up, being different and trying to find her way, in the world. It still has those aspects, but then it also has the Invincible storyline. So it's really, 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 really well put together.
And I got to give a shout out again. My boy, look, I remember I told you about my friend Oz at that event. Check this dude out, man. Look at how cool this dude looks. Oh, isn't that dope?
Hell yeah.
And he built that shit in like 3 days.
3 days he did that.
3 days to build that shit together.
I would call bullshit on that, but if that's
no, straight. Like, this guy's he's a builder, bro. When it comes to creating costumes, like, he about it, dude. So fucking A, man. Good shit. Can't wait to see that shit in person, man. Can't wait to see that shit in person. So guys, I gotta ask you overall, rating this show. What would you say? Is you say it's a must watch kind of thing, or is it I can get away with it? But
easy, absolutely
must watch.
If you're an Invincible fan, you got to watch it.
Okay.
You have to.
I'm gonna. Have to watch
I think that there was a reason for this. I think she's going to be very much incorporated in this next season.
Oh, so this is a big turning point.
Yeah,
for like the Adam Eve character.
Yeah, they kind of needed this.
David says it's a must watch. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the collector, the man that runs it. Straight up, got to check it out. I'll be watching that shit tonight then. So straight up, boys, good shit. On to the next one. Now that we got fucking Triggs here, I can get into this conversation too. Brian, I know you haven't seen it yet, but you're probably gonna want to know about it. So Brian, you'll be my question guy on this one. The Witcher season 2 recap and review.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Oh no! Listen, I'm gonna mute up. I'm gonna let you guys, do your thing here.
So sweet. Triggs, I know I got to ask you this the last time about this. You got to see it before all of us. You are a major look. He's gonna pull some Witcher shit out of the bottom of his.
He's got some Witcher underwear. He wants to some Witcher underwear. He wants to show us and
shit. Out his white hair wig and shit. I already know Trigger's gonna do some crazy ass shit. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
This man, he spends money on it. He invests in it. So like. Yeah. Triggs is like my Witcher guy in this situation. Triggs, I got to see the new season, so I know exactly what you'll be talking about. This is like, but I'm in the same boat. I'm not like a huge Witcher fan. I know the games a little bit. I didn't read the content. Very much like the Dune situation. I saw this shit back in the day when I was a kid, but when it came out, I know you were all hyped because you have the books. You got a tattoo. You get underwear same color, and you're really excited about this shit. I gotta know, what did you think of season 2?
So season 3 was
Season
really
3?
good. Yeah, season 3.
Oh, season 3?
It's season 3 part 2. It's season 3 part 2.
Oh man. Oh, but that's what's coming up though.
No,
or
that's
am I
what
wrong?
came out.
Is this season 3? I thought
Yeah.
they were in season 2.
You know Chris can't get it right, dude. Just go ahead.
Right,
Just
good
go.
shit.
Just
Right,
go.
yeah.
Just go. Just go.
I
You
don't
know
know where I am
Yeah,
half the time.
you know.
Barely
Chris.
remember my
my
own
bad.
name.
Sure, yeah, dude.
That's what I
No,
do.
so
Adam and
I
Eve.
thought, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting it to be longer. Mostly because like there were things that happened in part 1 of the season 3 that like really hint to like events that happen in the third Witcher game. And
Okay. You're gonna have to explain.
How are
Like,
the games,
okay.
by the way? I don't want to. I know you're about to get into it, but how are the games though?
oh, they're amazing.
They're
Okay,
good? Okay,
so
okay.
let me break this down very objectively. The first one's game mechanics are fucking stupid.
Okay. Are they
Stupid.
comparable to any other game that's out in the market right now?
Okay, well, the third one has a combat style like all its own. It's really fun, very easy to pick up.
Yeah.
2 was really where they changed it around, where like it's a more modernized combat system.
Yeah.
1 was very like time based. You had to click at certain points, and if you didn't, then you like lost the like combat. chain.
the combat. Okay.
Yeah, and like it was super fucking weird, dude.
Okay.
But
okay.
the story is what really drove it for me.
Okay.
So like I was able to like really like get into it.
Okay.
Um,
I don't want to sidetrack you, but I just always see the games in the game store, and I'm always like one click away from buying it, but I don't hear anybody talking about it. Okay.
Which one would you recommend, Triggs?
Honestly, I would recommend
L3.
3
A fucking
because you can kind of learn the whole story
in one
through
game.
3.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know Triggs is gonna probably be like it's like those guys that are like One Piece fans, and you're like, okay, dude, like I know there's a lot of episodes. Like, do I have to watch all of them, or can I get away with getting in like half and then understanding? And people be like, I mean, yeah, you could, but like I really
why would you
recommend
want
see
to?
all 1,000
No, dude, like
million
one
episodes. Triggs is like, you got to buy
but
all
there's
3
only
games, bro.
there's
Like,
only like a few important parts in 1.
yes,
Right. So the first one is obviously like you're waking up, you have no idea what's going on, and it's that cutscene that happens in 1, and you have no idea what's going on. You get to see the final sacking of Kaer Morhen and the fact that no one lives there anymore, and you also understand why no more Witchers can be made. That all happens in 1. In 2, you see certain events unfold with a major character, which is Triss Marigold, and like her kind of like double dealing when it comes to you, and the fact that you don't have your memories.
Okay.
Right. And this also happens in the first game. In 3, you have your memories back now.
So, okay,
Right.
so you're
Like
ready.
you go through
Yeah.
the game, you get your memories back, you find out what Triss did. You know, you're now looking for your main love interest, which is Yennefer. And you remember Ciri, and you realize that you need to find the both of them.
Okay.
Right. So that's like 3. He's kind of refulfilling his destiny.
It's like a
so-
recapping of all that
yeah,
stuff.
and
let's go.
but on top of that, like very much like with like From Software games, there's a lot of story hidden throughout the world that pieces together the first 2 games and even the books.
Okay.
okay.
So like granted, it's a lot to go through and a lot to digest, but if like someone were to actually take the time to, they could learn quite a bit about it.
Gotcha.
You know, like you would learn about the King Assassin, you know, which was the
Well,
huge
there you
thing that
go,
happened
Brian,
in the
like you're
second
saying,
game.
Like if you were ever gonna go buy the games, it's like fuck. Well, I
would
know
say
I've heard
get
that one of
3.
them sucks.
Get 3, and you know you'll have a pretty good understanding of like what had happened
Badass.
beforehand.
Gotcha.
Bad.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and what happens in season 3 is like huge, and it's huge for the game, for the third game, because this is the start of all of it.
Okay.
Get my phone real quick.
So like one of the big ones is that for anyone who watched the series, you saw like these elves ride in on like skull armor, and they're like chasing Ciri, and and everybody, and they like disappear and stuff like that, and that's the Wild Hunt, and they're like these mythological elves that like go and kill certain things, but they're looking for the child of elder blood, which Ciri is, blah blah blah, and they need her to like basically create another catastrophic event to happen again. But and I'm not going to get spoilery and stuff like that. There is a point in the second part of season 3 where she winds up in this huge desert. Well, that desert is really important because you wind up in that desert again in the third game. And
didn't season 3 episode 2 like, or what is it? Season 3 part 2 didn't it just drop like today or yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I didn't even know that. My brain is still stuck on part 1.
Yeah,
God
dude.
damn, shit, I'm gonna watch that shit tonight too.
Dude, I mean, this is Henry Cavill's last appearance as Geralt.
Yeah, okay, so that was the big thing that we heard. That was like the number one thing that got me into not wanting to get back into The Witcher,
which is fair. I really have to like I've had to convince more than one friend to really watch this third season.
He was that big of a.
It wasn't the fact that he was like that. I'm like, oh, simp of Henry Cavill or whatever. Oh, he's my fucking nerd king. It's not that.
He really did a really good job with
the argument was that when you break down all the bullshit of all the other stuff that's around it, Henry Cavill's biggest complaint was that the company was not sticking to the story. And then
it's like it was against some of the stuff they were doing, even though he TV show. It,
yeah.
If Chris made a TV show, he would want Henry Cavill.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, dude, I'm a fan of the books. Yeah. I'm a fan of the series and the writer and the original people that created this. I want to give homage or pride or honor to the people that created this and do like at least something true to the source.
Sidebar.
And when it deviates, it's okay, but like be creative about it. Be something that builds to the story, not builds to yourself.
Sidebar. Do you know that he's trying to get that Warhammer?
Yeah, dude. Now if he pulls that off, dude, 100%
that game is gonna blow up in next year, dude.
100% that if he involves himself in the movie, stick with it and supports it to the very end, that they're sticking with the story. But Warhammer's so convoluted, no one's gonna give a fuck, dude. It's just violence, dude.
The game, the people that own that game, and I looked this up today actually because I was talking about. It's funny that you mentioned.
Nice.
So I was talking about Henry Cavill,
it's wizards,
for
right?
the Emperor.
Yeah. So they have been profitable 8 years in a row. If you look up
Skull Throne,
yo, dude, if you look at they're a publicly traded company. If you look at, they're at $148 a stock. Right.
Yeah, no, they're good. Dude. Yeah, it's up, man.
Huge, dude. That's huge.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I would thoroughly advise
dude, if I had
you guys.
10 grand,
I would thoroughly advise you guys to try to put some money into them. Because
who would have thought? Like, who would have thought that the idea of be like, yo, you want to invest in some stock? There's this really nerdy fucking board game I know of. You know what I mean? You can invest in like fucking Tesla, Walmart, Target, but there's this really nerdy fucking video game of a bunch of
Games Workshop. That's what it is.
Games Workshop. In 2013, I think they were listed at like $50 a share. Now they're at 148.
It's about to grow tremendously if Henry Cavill gets involved.
Yeah, bro.
Almost triple.
I'm so bad at sidebarring us. I'm sorry, but it's so funny because you brought up Henry Cavill and it led to like the game workshop shit. And I was just
because it's a universal thing. Even like the concept of all these old IPs, like they're connected to something somewhere. And it just so happens that like Henry Cavill happens to be
a huge fan
of this like super underground, extremely popular and extremely like monetized story, monetized love story. And it really like it almost like it incentivizes people to create in it also. It's not just like for it if like you have to be a part of the organization or have copyright or whatever. You can create a bunch of shit and everyone will be like, more power to you. Can I buy that off you? Like, you know what I mean? Even the owners of the thing will be like, yo, where can I buy that from you? That's really fucking fantastic. Like it's impressive. And you know what? It's almost like the Dungeons and Dragons situation where you were finding out that like that Joe Magalani guy or whatever, the one from Deadstruck, like when he would host games, like you would find out that like 1 million people were a part of it. Like Kanye's in the seat, fucking
Dude.
LeBron James, like.
Dude, that's another reason why fucking Sofia Vergara and him are getting a divorce, bro.
What happened? What happened with it?
Because like, okay, so the room that
I know
he
they're
ended up
getting.
turning
I know
into
they're
his
getting a
dungeon-
divorce.
Yeah, so the room that he ended up turning into like his like game room, his dungeon or D&D, dude, that was supposed to be a wine room. Like they were supposed to like humidify that
Man,
and like pressurize it and stuff like that. And he was just like,
winery?
yes.
Well, fuck that.
Man,
What
fuck
are you
that
gonna do
wine,
that's
Rich,
close to
bro.
wine
They're, of
compared
course
to,
they're
like,
gonna do wine
Dungeons
shit.
and Dragons shit. That sounds
I'm
good.
gonna
as
start
fuck, though.
fucking painting my fucking shit over here, bro.
You think
Get outta
wine's
here.
gonna inspire anybody to make a fucking baller table like the one that he has in that room now? No, you're just gonna get a fridge with a bunch of bullshit in it.
Yeah, but when you have a hot ass wife, bro, she's not trying to watch that nerd shit, dude. She's like, yo,
Yeah,
get the fuck
dude.
out of here, bro. Where's my wine now?
That's wild, man. So they're
I'm
getting
sure
a divorce.
wine-
for it.
I'm sure wine was a pretty good
It was never gonna work.
Harder for this.
No, I was gonna say it was like a pretty good source of inspiration, behind like fucking Mozart and Salieri, so I'm just saying.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yo, but straight up, like, so they're getting a divorce based on him making the room or something like that?
Oh, like I'm not saying just that, but
Oh.
like one thing is like another thing was, and this is a huge sidetrack, and we're done with the conversation after I say this.
We've
yeah.
we're all off the rails already.
Yeah, is like she wants
We're
kids,
all off the rails.
she doesn't, and that's it. We're done. We're off of Joe Magliano D&D. We're off of that. We're back on The Witcher.
Go back to The Witcher.
Yeah.
So Joe Magliani has a Witcher room also, right?
Shut the fuck up.
All right, man. Well, I haven't seen the part 2 yet. I saw part 1. A little bit of the middle part was a little bit of air, like a lot of winded talk and stuff like that, which really didn't interest me. But I was even telling Brian that the last episode of part 1, which is something called The Illusion or something like that,
Gangsters.
holy fuck, that was an impressive creative write and directing feat, where it starts off and it gives you like this whole entire breakdown of how they bust this dude, and then later on they go back and they show you the same scenes with all the extra background stuff. It was so well done that
Yo,
I have to give it up. I have to give
You
it up.
guys
for
are
the way
the
they did this.
worst reviewers on the planet. You guys didn't even tell me if you like this. Like, do you guys like the show, or do you guys like?
Well,
it?
that's
What's
the
going
thing.
on?
Like the overall, The Witcher itself.
Yeah, I like the show.
It's a banger.
All
it's
right.
fun.
Yes, I
But
like
listen,
the show.
that's kind of a cop out because you could like the book and not like the show.
Yeah.
I just don't know where you guys
the thing
stand
is,
on
is
this.
that like there are a lot of things that are happening, especially in the second half of the show, and I say half very loosely because it's only 3 episodes.
Okay.
Of part 2 of season 3, and the last thing that happens involves Ciri, right? And this is when the separation between Yennefer, Ciri, and Geralt happen, and they won't see each other for the next decade.
Okay. So it's a big
Okay,
time
so it's coming to
gap.
an end. Their relationship. is
Yeah,
coming to an
they
end.
are like by the time the 3rd game happens and like
The show.
what happened at the end of season 3, bro, that's like 10 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Because like Ciri is like what, 13, 14 in
Yeah, she's
at
like
the
in the
time?
14, 15 age range in the show.
If that, she's like barely hit teenager. When she sees Geralt again, she's like 20, like 19 to 22.
That's when you see her a lot of time when she's like aged up, like in video games. And
Yeah,
like,
so you're gonna see her with the scar and stuff
Yeah.
like that, the rose tattoo,
I get it.
her new sword and stuff like that. But like a lot of the dialogue that happens is a lot of setup for like future events.
Okay.
Okay. So
Right?
that's
like
that's the
it's
reason.
it's very Jonathan Hickman-esque, where like all of the small things are gonna play the big parts later.
they make
Yeah, that's why I
a-
kind of wanted to ask you is because I
difference.
know that you're embedded more into the lore and the backup of the story, and the way I see these things is
And I'm trying not to spoil here. I'm not trying to spoil too much because, like,
no, but the thing
obviously,
is like I can go to you in this situation because I saw it and I mean I enjoyed it. Is it something I'm gonna go back and rewatch and try to get into it? No, probably not too much. It's just something that I
and
kind
I
of like
wouldn't blame you.
just
Like,
mosey through.
like
It was
this,
all right.
yeah.
But like for me, I want to see if a person that's embedded in the lore and the series itself is getting appreciation from it.
Yeah, like, one
So
of the
would you
big
say
ones-
that's the case, Triggs? You're
yeah.
able to get embedded in it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
because like there are certain things happening, and granted, this is like a super like this is like one of those like little fun facts and stuff like that. So
The more you know.
you see this happen, I think, once in season 2, and then you see it again happen in season 3, and this happened. You should have already seen this, Chris, where it's Ciri, Yen, and Geralt, and they all get transported to a desert, and it's like a barren desert, and like they're there for like a little bit, and that's when you see the Wild Hunt for the first time, like the bone armor guys, and then
Yeah.
they like go back through the portal, and they're like, "Fuck
Yeah.
that." Okay,
Okay.
the place that they went to is like a planet. It's like, think of Arrakis, right?
Yeah.
But
Pretty good.
it used to be a huge oasis. It used to be a huge oasis, and the ocean itself used to be sentient. So like almost think of like Mogo or something.
Yeah.
And so like that planet is like Mogo. It's like one big organism.
Yeah. It's a person itself.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, for me, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, they're there. That's super cool. And like for me, it's like somebody who has an appreciation for it.
For
I
the
could have
lore.
been, yeah, I was like, oh, that's a cute little nod or something like that.
Okay.
And for Adrian, like I don't blame him for saying what he's saying.
Yeah,
You
because
know-
that's the thing is like I
Yeah.
know like for me it's one of those things like when it comes to these shows like I want for people to get their flowers when it comes to people that have been following the series for so long. I don't want it to be like a cut and dry like just remake completely and just kind of shit all over like all of those years of interest. Like I want to see them do their thing because I know that now they're stepping into this like the Henry Cavill thing and then the what's his name Helmsworth, the Liam Helmsworth situation where a lot of people are not really excited for the direction that they're taking it in, but they don't really got a lot of options next. You know, it's going to be made either way because
Yeah.
that's what the director wants to do or whatnot. If it, from here on out, if it's a hit or miss, like that's on them.
It really is.
Why
you
is
know,
why
like,
why is Henry Cavill always in these situations?
I don't know.
honestly, man, I you know, he may
I've heard
just
he's
have
hard to work
bad
with.
business sense.
You think?
I've heard directing wise that he's hard to work with, but I want to know like why, like what makes him
It
hard to
just
work
seems
with.
like everywhere he goes, there's an issue somewhere.
No, because the thing is like, okay, with the issue with The Witcher, like he's hard to work with. That's what the lady said. And then they went and did allegations saying that he was like inappropriate with like people, like females
I
and
have a very
whatnot.
difficult time.
And I
believing
was like, I don't know, bro. Like he did 2 solid ass movies with Millie Bobby Brown, and she never complained at all. And he was super respectful towards her.
and
so,
he
like-
did 3 movies with Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
haven't heard
and
of
in
it.
all of that
Heard it.
situation, you're gonna say like he didn't at least try to like go after some shit that way, being drunk or whatever. Like, and then this shit pops off, and then the people that are like he complains about them not being like true to the source material, and they're like, well, fuck him, he fucks chicks or whatever. Like you're kind of like, well, how are you gonna bring those allegations when that's never?
I get that,
Being a
but
thing.
at some point, the common denominator isn't changing. It's the fact that he gets on these super popular, super anticipated projects, and then
Mhm.
something happens where it just the floor just falls out from under him, and then it's just that's
I mean,
not
dude, but
that can't because the common denominator isn't. It seems like it's going to be something different every time, but the common denominator is him.
Well, yeah, even in the aspect of it too, but that's claiming that Hollywood has a good standing of like taking care of people, and they don't. Like, look at the way they treat all their actors right now. None of those people are a common
But we're
denominator.
not
in
talking
anything.
about that, and I don't want to turn this into an argument or a
No,
debate.
but it's.
But
I mean, I
like,
get it.
it's
like,
not like this is a regular human. This is not a regular actor. This is one of the top actors.
Yeah, dude, he's a
in-
big A-lister.
he's
Yeah.
a big
You know, but-
A-lister, dude. So,
But
like,
I would have to interject there, dude, and I'd have to say I think it's the kind of project because like you know, you were saying like big top-notch program like projects and stuff like that. And I would have to really, really say, like, okay, big top notch, project. Look at the Mission Impossible series.
Yeah, they
No one
love him.
fucking said anything about that.
They love him.
Granted, he dies in the movie.
I was gonna say he was a.
I
one-off.
mean, like, yes,
They only had to
get
work
it.
with them. They only had to work with him the one time.
Yeah, granted, but like, he could have easily had some good expandability. The fucking guy that that Ilsa
Yeah, that's
Faust
a good
killed,
point.
he was in 2 fucking movies.
Yeah.
So they could have easily stretched out his role with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say even Adrian in the
but,
comment
but
section
my,
says
my
like,
thing is that like I have to like say that I think it's the project that he's going into when it already has a huge established like lore base behind it, and there's a lot of continuity to draw from, right? So you see that obviously in Justice League because there's fucking 80 years worth of shit that you can draw from with the Superman character. And then you have, The Witcher, where it's like 30 plus years of material that you can draw from, 8 books, 3 games, so it's pretty extensive. I really have to say that this is exactly why, like, I try not to be a continuity Nazi, is because like issues like this would happen. Like, bro, you're going to be difficult to work with.
Yeah.
Like I understand wanting to stay true to the source material. I think Andrzej Sapkowski did a great job of having all of that continuity be very, very well laid out for something like this. But obviously, Hollywood's going to put their flair and their spin on it, and as Hollywood always will, and he's not about that.
Yeah.
And so people are like, he's hard to work with,
So I see what Adrian's writing in the comments. He does have a point there
points.
that it's only The Witcher and it's DC.
Yeah.
But my counter to that is you can't say that it's only DC and it's only The Witcher. These are probably some of the 2 biggest things that are out there that people are watching. He's fucking Superman.
Yeah, but the thing is Henry Cavill as an actor himself has made his popularity that big that The Witcher itself has seen numbers drop dramatically just on them releasing him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so
That's
you couldn't
crazy,
so
though.
you couldn't. So my thing is, you couldn't figure out a way to make this work.
Well, the thing is the only way it makes it work is you take a person whose popularity is bigger than your IP, and you bring them both up, and then one guy. I mean, the thing that
You're going in the direction I want you to go in. Go ahead.
Yeah, in my opinion, like
I see what you're getting at.
the pedestal,
Go ahead.
By the way,
pedestal that Henry Cavill decided to die on, it's not a bad pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now in the terms, it seems that it's working more than not following the IP.
Gotcha.
You look at Marvel, sucks. DC sucks. You look at Last of Us, fucking fantastic, almost true and true to the fucking original material. And even fuck, you look at anything in that. So look at fucking Oppenheimer, right? Like that show, like literally follows the entire historical situation through and through.
Yeah.
And doesn't change anything for fucking politics, which is like what Jada Pinkett Smith did to the Egypt story or whatnot that people are fucking super in arms about.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are really big factors that are playing it. And the only reason why it happened was because
man, don't say her name. You got to keep her name. You got to keep her name out.
Oh yeah, I got to keep her name out of mouth. My bad. I don't want to get fucking. You just see me get fucking slapped out of nowhere.
Candyman, yeah,
Candyman
just show up. Yeah,
just fucking Will Smith my ass in that nowhere.
Gemini man, dude.
You have these certain individuals that are standing their ground, gatekeeping in those situations, which is fine on them. And they're sticking to their morals in that sense. Like the director of this thing was like, well, I'm going to change it because we need to instill a more female strength agenda, or we need to instill more of having a more heroine thing more than a man be in the film of things. And he's like, hey, you know what? I get it. I'm about that. But like, it has to make sense to the stories too. Like you can't just be like, well, Harold's going to get shit on. We're going to kill him. And then this chick takes over and then be like, dude, Gerald is like a huge part of the story though. Like, how can you kill him?
Bro, you are an actor. You are an actor. You signed on for this. So what I write, you do.
Period. Oh yeah, and he had no problem with that. But the thing is when he spoke up against it, like in interviews, that's when the director was like, "Well, that's your fucking fault, bro."
But that's what I'm saying right there. You can't speak up about it. You are an actor. You don't have the liberties of speaking up about the direction they're taking this because you are an actor. You signed on to be an actor. If you were a writer or a producer, I understand that. But if you're an actor, listen, I'm not saying this is the reason why there's complications with him. All I'm saying is at some point, we need to start asking the real questions. The common denominator is that this guy has been said that it's being said that he's hard to work with. We all unanimously have just said that. We've heard that he's hard to work with. And what I'm saying is at some point when you're getting replaced on The Witcher, and like Trick said, he said to actively tell people to watch it because he's not on anymore. You got to start looking at it not being the production's fault 100%. Sometimes it's probably the common denominator is him. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, but then again, like the person himself and the census of people that know Henry Cavill know that he is for the story of The Witcher, not for the individual growth of the director who thinks they're bigger than the IP.
Listen, I get that. But if I am the producer, the director, the person that's financing this show, and I'm paying you as an actor, listen, I will hear you out. I get that. I'll hear you out. But ultimately, the direction I'm going to go in is the direction I'm going to fucking go in because I'm financing this shit, or I'm writing it, or because I'm directing it.
Not on top. I mean, on top of that, dude, you also have like a contractually obligated like story that you need to follow. This is the pitch that you gave investors. This is the storyline in which I'm telling this story. And this is the reason that people are giving me their money to see that story take place. You know, granted,
I mean, you're gonna put that in lines with people that wrote Velma out and all that shit. I'm not gonna believe that for once. That's gonna be some shit. They're gonna be like, "Yo, look, this is our pilot."
Book us. Dude, honestly, I'll die on this hill. It doesn't matter because like this is a super like fucking woke community within the fucking Hollywood going on right now. So honestly, that point doesn't really hold a lot of water anyway. Honestly, to me, I'd have to say, if I'm going to say this from a huge business standpoint, I think that Henry Cavill let himself go. His contract was up. He had his 3 seasons. They were like, "Hey, man, we're going to sign you on for 3 seasons." All right, man, sick. Well, you know what, dude? We're actually going to do a 4th. How do you feel about it? Well, you know what, man? I actually just found out I'm probably going to be, I'm actually going to be Superman again. I'm going to let my fucking contract lapse. Let him have it, dude. He goes back. He took a gamble. It didn't fucking go well, and he was like, "Well, fuck, dude. You know what? Warhammer's still available, and I love that game. Ain't no one doing shit with it. Let's make it." And everyone was like, "Oh my god, Warhammer!"
This is the reason why I bring it up is because you're absolutely right. This is exactly what happened. He took a gamble. He left The Witcher thinking that he was going to be Superman moving forward, and James Gunn came in and said, "Get the fuck out of here." So that kind of fucked Henry Cavill.
This is also why I say like in bad business sense.
So when Chris, when you say that, when you're an actor and you get to a certain level and you start taking these chances thinking that these people don't need you, you kind of fuck yourself. Because in reality, I don't think he's gonna be able to get this Warhammer shit either. Because from what I'm hearing, Amazon is going to try to end up buying this company that we were talking about earlier, Games Workshop.
I don't at all. I mean, I almost see that happening now.
Yeah, they're gonna
buy the world or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna try to buy this company because again, they have been profitable for the last 8 fucking years, and they're not gonna keep Henry Cavill on to make this show or movie, whatever the fuck it is. That's just not gonna happen. So
why would you think they wouldn't though?
Because there's no reason to. There's no reason
to involve someone like Henry Cavill?
Not to involve him, but to go through the headache of keeping someone on like that. That's
with the assumption that there's actual truth, that he's difficult when all these other IPs have never mentioned anything like that before, and all of those IPs are just as successful.
That's fine, but now I don't
successful.
No, but what I'm saying is, but Chris, just hear me out. Chris, just hear me out. Yeah. I don't have to go through you though. Like I get it, you're a big geek and you're a nerd for this shit. But I don't want to have to go through you after I just purchased this IP. I don't want to have to go through you to get my shit across. Why would I need that? Get the fuck out of here. I can hire my own people to go do that shit.
Yeah,
it's not gonna look good in the public's opinion. But I'm sorry, Chris. Fuck your opinion.
No,
I-
like,
I
don't
get
know,
that.
man. Like,
I
I think
get
it's
that.
one of those things. Like, if they were to bring in someone as popular as Henry Cavill with the way that he's been treated recently in net media, I think it's a banger, dude. Just on that alone, the entire community, they know they're gonna make bank with him just bringing him on as an actor in some way. In some
That's
way.
fine. But we're not talking about an actor at this point. We're talking about him being creatively involved.
Oh no,
That's
no,
a-
no, he's
that's
not gonna
a-
be creative. No, fuck that, dude. I don't even know how this guy creates shit. He's not.
But
a
that's
creator,
what we're
he's an
talking about.
actor.
He is in talks with like creating a show or some type of movie for Warhammer. And I
Well, I
don't
mean,
think
look, I
that's
don't
a good
understand.
idea.
I don't know how he does behind the camera as a director, but I know he knows his lure in Warhammer. In fact, like he is like personal friends with all the people who create for Warhammer.
True.
Are they going to bring him in as some kind of like creator of content? Probably not. They're going to bring an actual historian for it. But if you got people on your team that know the lure and know the stuff and know continuity and can make it work, because the continuity behind Warhammer is stupid, dude. Like it's dumb how big the lure is. Like you can get away with anything and nobody would even find out.
No.
Like you can literally make your own shit up and but that's the beauty of it is the Warhammer series, even though it does have lure, it has so much in between that you can make shit work.
Yeah.
Like there's so much room for it to make you can James Gunn the fuck out of it. And the reason why I say you could James Gunn the fuck out of it is because James Gunn likes to make a bunch of useless shit super important.
Oh,
Like
you mean
that's what
Taika
he
Waititi?
excels at. But if you give him
Easy,
something that's got
easy.
small lure that's very tight, James Gunn fucks it up. Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
Taika Waititi. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, like they when it's something that you can generally
Fuck
go
you,
to in
though.
the last several years, it's very hard for them to get away with that creative
I've been
shit.
letting that one cook, bro. I've had that one in the chamber for a minute.
Yeah, I know. I know. And you're gonna shoot
But
it every
the thing
time.
is
I'm waiting
like-
for it. It's fine.
What I'm talking about is his passion for the series.
Yes.
And for them to release him because he has passion for the series, I think that's counterintuitive to what she's creating. If you want your show to be successful, you bring in people with the same passion to make it successful.
Mhm.
You don't bring in people that are like, hey, you know what? It's successful, but fuck that. I'm not about the establishment. We're going to do our own thing. And you're like, cool. Like you lose all faith in that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, but you want to bring
I totally get what you're saying, dude. And this is why sometimes big name actors attach themselves to indie projects for this
Yes.
exact reason.
because they believe in it.
You know-
Which would be great, but the only thing is if this was still if Game Workshop were going to put out an indie movie
Warhammer.
or a show for Warhammer, I think this is a knock out of the yes, keep them on. This is a home run. But
Mhm.
if I am Amazon, if I'm Jeff Bezos and I'm purchasing this IP, dude, I feel to see
Yeah, and you know what? I can see this exact argument happening for fucking Legend of the Dragon right now, right? Indie creator, Bat in the Sun. They are not attached to Hollywood in
So, yeah,
really
they're not
any
attached
way,
to
any
Hollywood
big
or
way.
anything.
I will die
You
on
know-
any hill for Bat in the Sun. I fucking
Exactly.
hardcore.
I mean, I get that, but what I'm saying is that they're not a big, major, multi-billion-dollar studio.
they should
not.
be though.
Yeah,
And right
I
now is their
agree.
time to shine, dude.
You know, exactly. But that's the thing. They're an indie
Sounds horrible
studio.
to say, but right now is their time.
Regardless of what anyone fucking thinks, dude, they're an indie studio.
Why are they
produce
still
some
like?
fucking amazing content because they don't have to worry about bitch made ass producers and investors
Investors telling them what to do.
sidetracking their shit when they can actually stick to a true continuity story. Like honestly, I think Chris would do fantastic in Bat in the Sun. you
Why?
know,
Why are they still publicly funded? Is that not
Thank you,
weird
brother.
to you guys, Joe?
Because
What's
they're
up?
not going to get big investor
Why though?
funding.
That's my why. Why?
Who knows?
If I
dude?
had the fucking money, I would have been invested in them.
You want to know why you don't bring on people like that?
Why?
Because they're gonna make you look bad for all the 10 years you've been fucking it all up, dude.
I don't care as long as you make me money. I don't give a fuck. What
But that's the thing; they just have too many people in that process that are like, "Well, don't bring them on because they're just gonna make us look bad."
The fact that they are asking for money to be publicly funded is a shame to me. Like that's kind of embarrassing to me. Not
That
for
they're-
them, but for me being a
Bat in the Sun
fan.
guys?
Yeah. Like they should have a deal somewhere. They should have even have gotten to the point where they're funding their own shit at this point. The fact that they're asking and
Well, I mean,
and-
that's the thing is like for years that guy's been doing it by himself.
I get
And now
that.
he's at a point where like he has on. I mean, yes, he had on the late Jason David Frank. Jason David Frank at the time was making movies and they weren't really popping off. They weren't like good quality. And then he met that guy and he started making some amazing shorts and amazing like little like collabs of like him versus Street Fighter and all this stuff. And this guy's like really well endowed with creating films, like really well endowed with his work. Full length feature films, we don't know how long it goes, but short stuff, he gets to the point, gets it done right. But he's brought on the chick that did Harley Quinn's voice in the cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
He brought on the dude that did the Silver Surfer, which is the guy that plays all those weird Hellboy, Aqua, Abe, Sapien kind of CG guys. He brought him out in one of his films. Casper Van Dien brought out in one of his films. Dude, literally the guy that plays Diggle in the Green Arrow show, who everybody thought was the Green Lantern, is in the fucking Mighty Morphin movie.
Yeah.
Like that's a casual B high lister character that was in a pretty popular show. That has enough faith in the Bat in the Sun that some way saw it. That was like, yo, I'll come and work with you. Because if this guy's asking for money, how do you think he affords an actor at that rate?
I just don't like seeing something that I like that being.
I get what you mean, dude. But
publicly
like
funded, man. That shit sucks.
I mean, that's just it. But that's unfortunately the reality of the situation, dude.
But even better,
and that's also like their choice.
So behind
that they don't go out and get investors who are going to have direct input into how they create their content.
Yeah, and then you have to do what the fucking those guys say. What's up, Fred? Good to see you.
Yeah, you're right.
See you tomorrow, bro.
I get that. They're probably just on the course of they just want to do their own thing at the same time. But damn,
I kind of feel like it's in that boat, dude. Like that dude is like on the cusp of being brought up in some way. Like, you know, like it's like I'm saying, like right now with the writer's strike, like it sucks to say, but like right now is a really great opportunity for them to release that in theaters because theaters ain't got shit to show.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the theaters are so swamped with like, well, what do? We don't got any new releases. What do you do? And it's like, well, I got this film. I happen to get, 1 million views on YouTube. It's a full length feature show we worked on and people really want to see it. What would you do for a distribution right to put this in like some theaters, like the way you do Studio Ghibli or the way you do concerts?
Dude, I mean, this could be the start of Jenna Frank's acting career.
Yeah, I mean, well, dude, this could be the establishing idea for a lot of these independent studios being able to get better distribution rights. That's the way I see it more, because there's a bunch of independent filmmakers out there that are really, really well at what they do.
So, I agree, but at the same time, I'd still really have to say, like, dude, stay away from Hollywood. Keep true to what you do, and like as far as distribution goes, like that's how you partner with like Fandango or AMC or Cinema.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar how they do it with the distribution. I don't know who they have to hook up with to get released in studios or in theaters.
Because
but
like
theaters,
honestly, for me, like I would really have to say, I mean, Bat in the Sun, Rooster Teeth, I mean those guys.
Rooster Teeth
like they put out some top notch stuff.
Yeah. But Rooster Teeth's like the studio's collapsing, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I really only watch for their death battle stuff anymore now.
Yeah, and Red versus Blue and shit. But they had some pretty good stuff going on. But
they could let Red versus Blue die already.
I love Red versus Blue.
That's like 15 seasons.
You ever used to watch that shit back in the day, Brian?
What's that?
Red versus Blue, the Halo show, the one that was like the red Halo guys versus the blue Halo guys was real funny. No dude, it's so worth it. It's super funny, dude. Super fucking funny. But yeah,
if I had some money in production, whatever, I would have shot some money over to Bat in the Sun. Like, yo, just go crazy. Just give me something that I can sell and try to make my money back. And just hopefully that would have been something that took us off.
Yeah, that would be really good. I mean, dude, but that guy's already created some beautiful shit though, man. And that's equivalent to the fucking the dude that made 1,000 Pounds Fight Team. That's that one that did the live action of My Hero Academia I showed you guys.
Okay, yeah.
Like those guys, dude, they did a fantastic job. And that's a whole other organization that's more in stunt work than it is in film. So like giving those guys the opportunity to be like, hey, dude, here's, $50,000, go fucking have at it and have fun. Yo, man, they could probably do some amazing stuff. Amazing.
Yo, when they got when they finally raised the capital for that Batman short, dude, that was like a thing on the internet. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Like people rushed to that shit and watched it.
Yeah, because of the desire and that want to see something at that nature. Like you have faith in what these people are doing. That's the idea of like the Christopher Nolan stuff. Like you don't go to watch a Christopher Nolan film because you think he might make a good movie. You're going because you're looking at his art as an actor, as a creator. I mean, you're looking at it as an artist.
Yeah.
So like I kind of feel like that's been the thing that's missing in Hollywood is a lot of these people don't have a lot of like the artistic structure to really put something out that they really truly like have passion in. They're just like black and white. Man, well, here's the Suicide Squad. Man, here's this, here's that. This is what they want, so I'm just gonna give them what they want. Like again, I hate to go back to it, man, but the Thor Love and Thunder story when he created it, like just knowing that in that director's mind, he was like, well, fuck them. I'm going to do this because I don't like the audience and the people that are talking shit about me.
Mhm.
I'm going to do this to like, can you imagine, dude, you're about to pay someone fucking millions of dollars for them just to like say, nah, fuck it. I'm going to fuck this thing up because these people don't like me. You know, that's a big
I
fucking
think
like,
that's a very general
but even having that
of
kind
what
of like
happened,
fucking,
but
like
I get what
having
you're
that
saying.
idea in his head and him go through with an idea in that sense, like that's a huge fuck up in my opinion.
I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. Again, I think it's a very general way of looking at it, but I get what you're saying. I'm not exactly
Yeah,
sure
a
how
little bit.
it kind of correlates to what we're talking about, but I get what you're saying. If you just want to take a jab at fucking Taika Waititi, I get it.
Well, I mean, in essence, to what we're talking about, right?
It'll make Trix proud. Yeah, it'll make Trix
Yeah,
proud.
and I
Yeah.
didn't want to mention his name. I didn't want to mention the director's name. I just wanted to say in
I
general.
didn't even want to mention his name.
No, because it's like I know Brian's a fan of his. I know Brian, you're a fan of that director, and
I
it's
am.
cool
I am.
because when he puts out stuff that's based on his art, it is great. It is
Dude,
fantastic.
Free Guy was amazing, dude. I love Free Guy.
Yeah, like when he does things that are based on what he does as an artist, amazing. But She-Hulk, when they do it out of spite because they're trying to pick on certain people in the audience and they take the whole IP and they fuck with it like that, like they ruin a show. They ruin the entire IP in general.
Yeah.
Like why ostracize a part of your audience and just make a show that everyone across the board can just get behind? Right now, Twisted Metal is just a show of a show. Last of Us, a bunch of people were like, you know what? I didn't like all the weird stuff that the guy was putting in it, but it was fucking amazing. People that had never played the game were like, this show is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, people that did play the game, this show is fucking amazing. So them just giving us something that's right works. But it just so happens that they do things out of spite that they end up ruining things. In this situation, Henry Cavill, even though much not to work with or being underpaid or overpaid or whatever they want to call it, he just wanted to make sure that they were doing the right thing for the IP because he cared about it. Did they have to fire him and then say, hey, now fuck him, he's a piece of shit and all this other stuff? No, they could have just been like, hey, dude, well, we let him go. He didn't believe in where we were going, but we're still going to do our best to make it true. And if you don't believe me that ostracizing the audience in this situation is real, look at what they did with the pre-show of The Witcher. The one that had what's her face from everything.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh is a fucking loved person in the community. Like the female version of Jackie Chan almost. Like the embodiment of Jackie Chan if he was a female. She's like literally the same thing. And Michelle Yeoh made a film based on The Witcher, which is going to show a lot of her action and all that other stuff. No one gave a fuck about it because it has nothing to do about the series. Because it was like a whole other weird thing that they were trying to do or whatever. Triggs, you're going to have to explain that shit to me because I don't know what that show is about. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did, but it was like super convoluted. It's like a huge prequel to like the whole thing. Whole thing. This kind of deals with like the introduction of the class, like it's called the not the Clash of the Spheres, but it's like the coalescence or something like that. And it's basically like what happens is like all the spheres of like each world, they all came together, they crashed together. And when it happened over one in particular, and it let a whole bunch of shit out. And then they all separated and closed. And that like Michelle Yeoh's story is kind of like telling the story of like what was happening during all that time.
Okay. So in the gist of it, in the whole entire fucking thing, like, did it matter to the story? Like, was it anything that it was like part of the books or it was part of the games?
Yeah.
Or was
no,
it anything that it was like super important?
Yeah.
And was it done in format of it?
I just didn't like the storytelling that they had for it. So for me, it was kind of throwaway. Like if you wanted to watch a Witcher outside of The Witcher, watch the animated series that had come out.
Straight. I mean, that's a way better point.
That one talks about Vesemir when he's a young Witcher. It talks about the first sacking of Kaer Morhen, and it talks about like how Witchers are made and stuff like that. Like it talks about Witchers, and stuff like that. It's like it's like, bringing up Invincible than talking about fucking Rexplosion or whatever for 2 goddamn hours.
Yeah, some shit that's not important.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, more than likely, I probably know this, Triggs. What do you rate the series so far, season-wise?
Season-wise, I'd have to rate it like a hard 9 out of 10.
Oh shit! So it's really fucking up there.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect. It was not
I thought
perfect.
it was pretty good.
I will say that right now, it was not perfect. There are some things that happened in the show that fucking do not happen whatsoever.
Is it important for you to tell us right now?
Huh?
Was it in the part 2 or was it in part 1?
Yeah, in part 2 of the
Oh
series.
fuck! And without spoiling anything, how did that do for you?
I was kind of mad. I was like, dude, what?
Oh, okay.
That doesn't happen. And I was like, whoa, I mean, okay. I was like, man, this is really gonna set some shit off then now, I guess. And I was like, I mean, for me, it just raises the stakes. It was kind of like the Battle Beast scene in Invincible. Like it happened, like that particular event didn't happen as early as it did, and not in the way that it did either, but it sets the stage for a much larger event later on.
So, Adrian, thanks for jumping in the comment section. He says, and what do you think as a person that's not invested into lore, what would you rate this show? For me, it's not so high because, but I've only seen part 1. I'm going to watch part 2 this weekend. Part 1, the last episode and a little bit in the middle was pretty. The first episode intro, like the action scene that they did where those guys like jump in and they try to jump him and he fucking kills him and does like badass shit. Like I was pretty hyped about. That was really, really cool.
I'll tell you this, man, like you're going to see a lot more from Ciri in this second half.
Yeah, she did pretty good. She did pretty good stepping into her own.
And you're really gonna see it in the last 3 episodes.
The Amel kid, I kind of felt bad for the way they kind of used this character kind of much. I feel like they didn't give him like enough build before they like killed him off. Amel, that Amel guy, the cousin.
Yeah, Robbie Amel's character.
I feel like they didn't flesh him out enough for them to give him like a role where it's like, okay, when he gets like murked off, like, okay, cool, like what does it matter? Like
he wasn't really anything in the grand
in the books either. Okay,
So,
I was kind of like, because I feel like the attention is more to the chick, but then they brought him in. Yeah, and then they brought him in, and I was kind of like, well, who the fuck cares about this guy? He's just a dude, you know what I mean? And then the chick stayed, but the action sequences weren't as cool in the series, like in the mid parts of the series. But the last episode, which is of the first part 1, that's called something of like the Ball of the Illusion or whatever, like. Man, dude, that was a really great episode. Real fucking vantage point movie kind of thing. So I'm gonna probably give the Witcher series probably like a mid 8, low 8. I think it's kind of like a high 7. Like if anything, if we rate it even crazier, like a 7.8. Like you can get away with really watching it. I just got to get into the second season and then I'll give you guys a full solid rating. But I would say straight up like a low 8, mid 8. So yeah. And boys, I don't know where Brian had to get off real quick, but no, not get off.
Go wee real quick.
Yeah, to go get another beer.
Right.
Inwards into the last part of our conversation before the day. We're gonna knock this out. It's not gonna be anything too crazy. Guys, I gotta ask. Brian will be back right now, but there he is. All right, well, we're in last part of the conversation. We don't want to drag this on too long because the series did not want to drag itself on too much and explain itself a lot. Boys, I gotta ask you. Secret Invasion season finale. I've fucking the reason why I'd rather have you guys talk about this is because I've voiced my opinion about the show throughout the whole entire series. The season finale did not nail it for me at all, but I know for you guys were pretty invested. Brian, I know you were really digging it pretty good. Triggs, you were digging it too. Like, what is your guys' take on how it handled itself at the end?
I'll be quick, really quick. Trig, I'll be quick.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I did not like this episode. I think it didn't really I don't know how it fit in the entire show. I know that it was trying to wrap up a lot of things that it needed to wrap up in order for us to get to the Marvels movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
But it didn't really serve
A
a
purpose.
purpose at all here, and I think that's why I have such a bad taste in my mouth just from that last episode. Again, the show in totality, I think I like. Just that last episode was really bad. And just so we're clear, I'm not the only one that thought that, because as of the showing, I don't know where it's at right now. I'm not going to look up the numbers now.
Yeah.
But when the episode aired, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 13% score, which is
Damn.
the lowest of any MCU TV show
I
to
think
date.
property ever.
Yeah. Well, no, property ever, but I mean the TV shows relatively scale lower than the movies. But even as a property, I guess you can say it's the lowest rated episode. No one really watched this, and the ones that didn't like that last episode.
Like, yeah, they were like,
They
fuck,
did
man,
not.
that's
They
gotta be a
didn't
hard
like.
hit, man.
They didn't like the last episode. So yeah, it just I don't know what direction they thought. And I was telling Chris off air, like the only thing that kept this show together for me was the acting and the writing. And it seemed as though on that last episode they didn't give a shit about either one. So I was just confused. I think I hopped in the chat immediately and said, this was probably the worst shit I've ever watched ever. And that's my thought on that.
All right, Chiggs, what about you, man?
Well, considering my consensus is that which is with pretty much everyone else, is that they've completely fucked the MCU. Like nothing matters anymore.
So wait, I want you, if you're gonna go that route, right? I know we don't have much time, but if you're gonna go that route, I want you to elaborate on that. What do you mean by they fucked the MCU?
Yeah, because I'm the fucking guy that tears shit up, dude. You're gonna have to detail that.
Okay, well, I mean,
And why do you
fuck it, dude,
think?
let's
I'm
get
just
this
gonna
over with
sit
right
on
now,
it
dude.
But
anyways,
wait. What do you mean by that? And why do you think this show did that?
Okay. So we're just gonna move into spoiler territory right now.
Fuck it.
Yeah, no one watching the show, anyways, man. I think everybody put that out there.
Yeah,
Literally
what
no
they
one's
did with
watching the show.
Gaia was like the fucking dumbest thing
What's
I've ever
that?
seen.
What did they do to her?
They made her not the super scroll. They made her fucking God scroll, pretty much. And
That's a
like,
good point. That's a fucking shit. I
Yeah.
didn't even know what to call her after
She's
this. But yeah,
literally
you're
the
right. goddamn.
strongest being. in
yeah,
our
she's like the
universe.
strongest
Universe,
fucking
yeah.
entity in like the Marvel universe right now. Like the one above all would be like, fuck,
Yeah,
in
fighting
an
runs for money.
MCU show.
in the MCU, anything.
that no one
That's-
watched. That no one
Yeah.
watched. No one watched this, and they made her the
The
most
strongest
powerful.
anything in the fucking MCU.
Did not see that coming.
The fucking Marvels movie, they could literally just fucking whisper
Have
her
Gaia,
name right now,
yeah.
and she'd be like, I don't even like the Kree anyway. I'll go
Just
fuck
wipe
that
them
up
all
for
out,
you."
dude.
Yeah, dude. Fuck your little Kree problem. It's all good. You
Fucking
know,
wild.
I mean, yeah, nothing matters anymore. She could literally solve every fucking problem that's gonna
From
come
here
for
on
the
out.
next ever.
From here on out,
Yeah.
Secret Wars is going to be strictly her versus
Yeah.
everybody else, and just
No, dude, the MCU, like Thunderbolts, Gaia Bolts, fucking New World Order, New World Gaia, dude. Fucking all that shit.
Yeah, like in the
It's
next
Gaia.
Eternals movie, when the Celestials show up, you're just
Yeah,
gonna see
it's
a little
dude, it's gonna be
burning scene in the
her
background,
piloting a fucking
and it's just Gaia
Celestial.
just standing there for no reason, dude. Just
Yo.
with Drax's arm, Groot's ear, fucking Hulk's
why
leg
would, they,
on.
why would they do that?
Because
Why
they're
would they do
stupid.
that?
Stupid. That's why.
Have you guys
Wait,
like asked yourself that question? Why? Because I was asking
I'm not
myself,
asking myself that question
a
during
lot.
Phase 4 at all, man.
Why would they do that?
I'm at a
Okay,
loss.
so
I
What's
have
the
no way
end
to
game
defend
here?
this.
look,
Like, I
the
have
reason,
no
the
way
reason
to
you have two reasons, and I'm going to put them out for you guys real quick. One, because Brie Larson's going to quit after the Marvels too,
All right, but
and
you
two,
have
because Nick
replacements
Fury is
for her,
going to
though.
retire, and they need a new Nick Fury. That's why. And then
So
they're
you
going to push. and
replace Nick Fury with the fucking god
British
tier fucking. Oh, okay.
They're gonna replace her with a British chick. She's gonna take over. That's like why she came in and she did all the shit that Nick Fury was supposed to do and did it better than him. She's gonna be the new Nick Fury. And then the chick, Gaia, is going to be the new person to bring. She's gonna be the new queen of the scroll. That's really
I
what it is.
figured
Because the
that.
Queen Scroll is supposed to be like the coolest thing since sliced bread to these people, and all they're doing is they're removing the character, the Super Scroll. They don't want him to be a piece of shit. They want to be where the scrolls, because in the comic books, we all know scrolls are pieces of shit.
I was gonna say,
Like,
I don't
scrolls are
want to
just
cut you
huge
off.
piece of shit.
I don't want to cut you off, but like I'm again casually knowing of the scroll, but they weren't this powerful, dude. Like
Nah, they weren't even like Captain America strong. They were like humans with green skin that could shapeshift. And even with the aspect of them taking powers, only one character could do that. That was the Super Scroll.
the Super Scroll.
Yeah, he was the one that was genetically modified to have the 4 characters powers from
And even
the
then,
powers.
in
And
the
then he
comic
couldn't even
books,
use them strong
even then in the comic books, it had to be DNA that was compatible with each other.
with each other. So when it even came to the powers of the superhumans, they had to have technology on them that replicated those powers. None of those scrolls could replicate the powers. And that's the crazy part. Now motherfucking scrolls can just be anybody the fuck they want. All they got to do is jump into a fucking microwave and they're good about it. Like they didn't even explain what the machine did. And we were talking about that, but we're going to break that down a little bit. To me, the reason why is because Samuel Jackson is going to retire and Brie Larson does not want to come back as Captain Marvel anymore.
Yeah.
Why? Because she decided to add politics into her personal life and her character, and the community didn't care for it, and she got backlash from it, and it's something she doesn't want to deal with. In any other IP that she's in, no one gives a shit about her politics. They're just like, oh, cool, Brie Larson, Scott Pilgrim, yay. Oh, her and Kong, yay. When Captain Marvel comes, they're like, that's that fucking bitch that thinks she's all shit. You know what I mean? Like everyone jumps on her ass, and she's just tired of it. She doesn't want to be there. So they bring in this chick. She happens to be like a person that can literally destroy the Kree on her own over Brie Larson's character. Like the Kree themselves hate the Skrulls because the Skrulls are warmongering characters in the comics that they're like a parasite. They abuse the places.
So then what's the need for the Marvels movie then?
To build up Kamala Khan and the other chick. And
at this point, nothing.
That's it.
No, because I'm
gonna get. I'll even raise that one. It's literally just to build up Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan's character, because Gaia. Remember, in the very beginning, I thought she was going to be Abigail Brand. She ended up being Gaia, who isn't even an important Skrull character, but she's one of the main people that comes in during Road to Empire, which is the Hulkling and Wiccan story where they get married and they combine the Kree and the
Skrulls
and the Skrull armada, and then they have they stop the Skrull war. But it's like, who the fuck cares about that? Like that's a push on the agenda of what Hollywood and Marvel has been wanting to do. Like they're streamlining the idea to have the first superhero gay wedding really fast. That's really what this is.
I'm gonna give some pushback. I think you're wrong. I think you're totally wrong on this because
I hope I'm wrong.
I think the replacement. I do think that Brie Larson is on her way out. I don't think it's voluntarily. I think and from what the reports are, and this is just rumors, that there's a lot of bickering and a lot of jealousy on the set of the Marvels because they're taking her IP away from her and they're giving it to Monica Rambeau. They've already established that in different universes, Maria Rambeau is the Captain Marvel, and that this Maria Rambeau is going to be a superpowered, basically on her level in this universe. So if they're going to replace Captain Marvel, it's not going to be with fucking Gaia. It's not going to be with Gaia. Gaia is beyond that. Like she's stronger than Captain Marvel. They're not going to use her in that capacity. They have the replacements for Captain Marvel in place, which is the reason why Brie Larson is pissed, is because this movie that's supposed to be her sequel movie, she's going to be shadowed in this movie. So like Gaia, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck was the point in this? Because what are you going to do with her now?
Yeah, but it's the thing is that's why in the trailer for the Marvels, you hear Monica Rambeau explain each of their power.
Which is the reason why she or the other Miss Marvel or whatever would be the replacement. It's not
Yeah,
gonna be
but the
Gaia.
thing is
So what
they-
the fuck was the point of Gaia then?
Like Monica Rambeau's character can take the monocle of Marvel, Miss Marvel, because there leaves an argument that she was the original Miss Marvel. So like that's a perfect opportunity for them to be like, dude, we could have just done this. Like fuck Brie Larson. But you cannot get rid of Brie Larson's power set. You need someone with that binary power in the universe that's on the good guy side.
I think
and
we're gonna
that's
get that
Gaia.
with. I think that's where. No, I think that's where we're gonna get with Monica Rambeau. Like I
She's
think
not gonna. She doesn't have that kind of power set. Like she can travel through light.
through the comics, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're not talking about the comics. We're talking. We're talking about.
We
movies.
haven't really seen her powers.
We're
didn't
talking
work.
about the movies. I definitely think that in this movie, she is gonna level the fuck
But
up.
Triggs, if I'm not mistaken, her character has more of like a projectile energy factor, right? And she can travel through light, but she doesn't become like binary, like physical strong, like the way like Brie Larson's character, like where she has like that rogue, like strength.
No, her power set is more metaphysical. It's like she can become any kind of energy anywhere. Like perfect example. Scott Summers, right? You know, his little
Optic blast.
ideas. Like he's not really shooting anything. He's just opening up a portal into that universe that
firing out
has
like such a fraction.
that particular energy. She actually jumped through his eyes and fucking went into that universe and was able to like interact with
Navigate
that
it.
universe. And because she's in the power set that she is.
Yeah.
So she can become any type of energy across any universe.
And I think with that power set, it'll be easy for them to transition her into Brie Larson's place.
I honestly I'm not
I
gonna
can
say
see
that
that
without
was
a-
like the
as
monocle.
opposed to you trying to interject this super fucking scroll that no one has any attachment to. No one has an attachment to Gaia. No one has attachment to her at all. We have
No, but that's
time
the cool
in
thing
with,
is like,
with Monica
but that's the
Rambeau.
thing is like we may not have an attachment to Gaia, but we definitely don't have an attachment at all to the Skrull or the Kree. Like it's only been through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Captain Marvel's first movie, and then that was in the 90s story wise, and the Skrull never came back. Now
I
I
don't
want
wanna-
to get that Rhodey idea,
I
and
don't
now
want
we
to
get Gaia.
I don't want to get attached to this who's replacing who because I don't. My original question was why would they do this, and I don't think the answer of her replacing Captain Marvel is an acceptable answer. That's what my entire point with this entire thing. That's not an acceptable answer because you have people that can replace Captain Marvel. You have people in place that can replace her. So what the fuck was there a need for this character that can just do anything and everything the fuck that she wants at this point?
Road to Empire.
Okay.
I'm sticking to my guns on this, and it sounds dumb because I do not want to die on this pedestal. But after Secret Wars, introduction of the Young Avengers, Wiccan, the Skrull now, the only other way that you could do this is like, what's the next big thing after Secret Invasion? Like, that's what I want to ask you guys. What would literally be the next big arc in comic book history that they could do right now in the Marvel Universe without the mutants, without anyone like that? They've already introduced Wiccan, and Hulkling is a Kree Skrull hybrid. And we do know that from the original Guardians of the Galaxy movie all the way to Captain Marvel to now that the Kree and the Skrull, I can't, man, these fucking tongue twisters. The Skrull and the Kree have always been at war.
I think you're looking at this wrong. I think we're getting multiple fucking arcs at one time.
But
I
why,
think we're leading into Young Avengers at the same time as Secret Invasions. I think we're getting all this shit, dude. I think that within the next few years, Marvel is just going to just nut on all of us, and we're just gonna have to sit there. Yeah, we're just gonna have to sit there and just take it, dude. Sorry.
That's fucking funny.
I think that's exactly what's about to happen.
You know what I could see happening,
So,
honestly, and it has pretty much no mutants in it whatsoever, and they could still do it depending on how Chris Hemsworth plays his cards in the Marvel universe. Siege.
I think
which
we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna get an accumulation of all that shit. I think that Deadpool.
But we
3,
know that Armor Wars is coming. We know that
Deadpool-
Secret Wars is coming,
Deadpool
and we also
3
know that
is going to open up a lot of shit. That's gonna
Honestly,
open up
I
a
really think that
lot
we
of
should
shit.
reserve a lot of our statements until Deadpool 3
Deadpool 3
is a lot
exactly.
closer.
I'm telling you, Marvel is like they're stroking us right now. They're like in
That
like
was a bad stroke, man. They blew the fuck
they're
out of me
like
with
they're like on
Spider-Man.
level 8, bro, and they're about to just unload on us, bro. I
Bro,
see that
they're
coming.
edging, dude. Do you know what
They're
edging
they're,
is?
they're
Yeah.
cusping. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
cusping.
dude, they're
Yeah.
edging us, dude.
Yeah, they're cusping, bro. They're right there, and I think Kevin Feige is gonna shoot his load very, very soon.
I don't know,
And
man.
I think it starts with Deadpool 3.
I mean, Deadpool 3, I have a lot of, I mean, everybody's super, but then we're not excited because of where the story is or is going to go. We're just going to, just for the hijinks, the overall hijinks we know Deadpool's going to bring as a movie itself. We know Marvel's going to change a bunch of shit up. Like, we know that for sure. And like, just the idea and like them bringing in like the Illuminati from that fucking movie that didn't do so hot with it. Like just do like continuing on that, like I guess like that would be a funny story, being that it's Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. And I mean, people are just excited to see Wolverine in a costume. Fuck less just the movie itself, like what he's even doing in it. They just want to see him in a costume. People are just excited for that. So like, yeah, I can see Deadpool being the exciting factor, but like this story doesn't do anything for anything in the Marvel universe.
I will agree with you on that.
Like Nick Fury didn't even have to come down. I think Gaia could have just solved it with this English lady on her own. Like, I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't see anything that was a good or bad.
It was just the writing was just so bad on this episode. It was just so bad.
Again, I'll agree with Brian and Triggs on this. The acting is phenomenal. Having someone like fucking Sam Jackson, Don Cheadle, even this fucking dude that played Gravik, the chick Emilia Clarke, like all of those guys we understand are heavy hitting actors for the things that they've been in. We understand that, but knowing that, even the guy again, the guy that played what's his face? I can't even remember his Ben Kingsley. What's his no, not Ben Kingsley. What's the guy's name? The fucking dude that played the dad Talos.
Talos, yeah.
Yeah,
I said
Talos.
Talos.
Ben
Middleton.
Whatever his name is, he's a great actor, dude. And you, man, you know what even surprised me? I totally forgot that he was the main villain in Ready Player One, and he did such a fantastic job in Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I was
he
like,
was
I love
also
this guy.
he was
He's
also
such a
in Chris
great
Nolan's
guy.
Batman.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's Batman too. Yeah, these guys do such an amazing job, and they are so underused by the writing in this story. Like, tell me one thing.
I don't think they were underused.
And I want to ask you guys this: with the way the writing was, do you think like when Gravik's character grabs Nick Fury's face and pulls him, did you feel anything, or were you like, "Yo, motherfucker, get your hands off Sam Jackson, boy. You're not at that level." Like, tell me, because that's the way I felt. I was like,
was that
in
what
my opinion, I was like, get your hands off of Sam Jackson. You're not at that level to touch that man's face. Like, get off of him. Like, you have to be a whole ass like that one Englishman dude that plays that Jewish guy in like the fucking Quentin Tarantino movies level to touch Sam Jackson like that. Like, you don't touch that man. He's the man, the myth, the legend, in my opinion. I don't feel like that character, the way it was written, was at all in that format to be that kind of like, I don't know. I didn't feel like he was that big to be bigger than that character.
Yes, I think that's where you and I part ways here.
Yeah, that's fine.
You have you have an issue with how we got here. I don't. I think the writing has been top notch. I think this is probably, besides WandaVision and Loki, probably the best written MCU show. And I will put this writing up against some of the movies as one of the best written properties in the MCU. I'm not going to have a problem with that. I don't have any problems with the character arcs, any of them. The only issue that I have with any character arcs is that I don't think that Talos had to die, because there was no redeeming factors there. There was nothing that came from that, why Talos had to die.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think the writing was great. I think the acting has been some of the best acting we've seen in a very long time in the MCU. And I will dare anyone to name something better of an MCU show that's not named WandaVision or Loki, that was written or acted better.
That's the thing. Those are shows too. Like, you can't omit that because they're just better.
I'm not omitting them. I'm saying that they were written and they were acted better. But other than those two, you can't name me something better. And honestly, on top of that, I want to know
I can name scenes in some of the
No,
TV
no,
shows.
no, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing
Wait, but
scenes.
I have
for-
to ask. I want to ask this though. Like, but why omit two series that are on the same format?
But see, like
same
you're
series,
who's
same
omitting?
style?
Who's omitting them?
Well, but saying
I
that
brought
you're
them.
omitting
I
them
brought
from
them.
the idea of saying like without
You're
comparing.
using
them
the
to
word
those two.
omit. You're using the word omit wrong.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I'm including those movies. I'm including those shows. But what I'm saying is, other than those, which I can actually give an argument as to why I think they were acted better, to be honest with you. But I will have an argument as to why you would put those shows before the show. But other than that, you got nothing else.
I still think like Loki and WandaVision are still my top two streaming service series. But that's the thing. Like, since those two are up at that level, then we should be able to rank the other ones alongside of it because they're done in the same format. And you know what? I'll kick it up and I'll say that Moon Knight was cool because of the way that it went. It's just that it's very hard to take in that like split personality, psychology, like psychological thing. And Werewolf by Night.
Another show you were hard on, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know I was hard on that film, but that one actually dealt with like the death of an actor. That one dealt with a bunch of other shit that was in the process of them being like, okay, how do we work this out? But overall, like acting wise, Oscar Isaac killed that motherfucker like through and through. The CG when they brought in that weird hippo goddess in the underworld, that shit killed it CG wise.
Yeah,
that was the same thing when they did in Loki when they brought in that world that was getting destroyed by like the purple and pink colors and all that stuff. Like that was beautiful what they did with the CG.
That was great.
Like, yeah, and then
I actually liked that show. I liked that show more than I think more than you did. But
yeah, more than me. But the comparing Moon Knight
acting wise, I don't think this is even comparable.
Comparing Moon Knight to even the finale of Moon Knight, which was fucking awesome, compared to Secret Invasion, it just felt like two different series of shows that had the same type of finance and everything behind it.
Triggs, do you have any input here?
Just as long as I don't get fucking interrupted, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, dude. I don't know what you're saying.
So, like, if we're gonna actually like go brass tacks to everything, I'm gonna be the odd one out. I was not a big fan of WandaVision. I really wasn't.
Which one?
It was
I think I
thought
remember
it was
you
cool.
saying that.
I liked like where everything went. I love how it was right after Endgame and and stuff like that. So that gravitas was there for me, but like everything else was like really funny and stuff like that, and it just didn't hit with me.
Yeah,
it did with everyone else. That's great. Didn't with me. For me, my personal favorite and still is Falcon and Winter Soldier. I fucking loved it through and through. Reason being is because like you see the rise and fall of the Captain America figure, and then we have for me, I just love the Winter Soldier character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like and this is a character, at least in the MCU and in the comic books, I really didn't like have a huge connection to, and really didn't until Falcon and Winter Soldier, because there's some really, really powerful dialogue there that everyone always just seems to overlook. And one of the first ones being is where, they're talking to each other and he's like, dude, why did you give up the shield? Why'd you give up the shield? He's like, well, I thought what I did was right. And he was like, no, because you did it because you were being fucking selfish. And he was like, and if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. And that's his best friend. So of course that scene's going to hit. Then you have the Isaiah Bradley scenes, every single one of them. Those are fucking powerful scenes. They're amazing. All right. And then you have the dichotomy with
some of the most underrated
Captain America.
too.
What's up?
No, some of the most underrated, but I agree.
Yeah. And so that's why, like, that, I mean, that's beautiful writing. It really is. And I 100% say that it stands up against that exact, scene between Gravik and, fake,
Fury.
And Gaia's, Nick Fury, because it was, dude, I loved that scene. He was like, everything that's going to happen right now is on you. Everything that's going to happen when, like, after I kill you is your fault. And he was like, and I want you to fucking know that it's your fault. All this other stuff. I thought it was great. But, there are some good scenes in Secret Invasion. There were powerful scenes. There were amazing scenes. But you know what? Some of them didn't have the effect that I wish that they had. I don't know. I think it may have just been the delivery that just didn't quite get it for me. but the dialogue itself was just super powerful itself. You know, Loki, I kind of shat on a little bit.
That's a
It was
master
a-
class.
Yeah, and
That's a master class.
but like that one kind of like went left field and went here. And rewatching it, I'm kind of like, but I have to take it like that because that's the Loki character. So I need to watch it in the way that like Loki should be interpreted.
Yeah, it's written
And,
the way it's
and now like I have a much different appreciation for that show that I didn't have beforehand. You know,
I had
and-
WandaVision at number 1, but Loki is clearly the best MCU show.
It's the one that they put more effort into. You can
It's a
tell.
masterclass.
I'd have to say for me, it's Winter Soldier and then Loki, because like the gravitas of the last two episodes of Loki are just. I mean, they said it. Yeah, I mean they're top notch. You can't say anything else
Can't
past
beat
that.
that.
Yeah.
Which one?
The last
Loki?
2 episodes of Loki were fucking great.
Bro,
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna tell you, just in one scene, I'll tell you what killed it for me in Loki that made me feel like that was like, you're never gonna get better than that. It was the effort of them putting that scene where Loki is walking into that mall in the future, and he looks up and he looks at the thunder and he says something under his breath that like, if you could hear me, brother, or something like that. Like that was like, you knew 100% that they were like, they watched the movies and then they fucking wrote the show. Like they were like, look, we're not gonna fuck this up. And then later on, you find out that they're writing fucking Secret Invasion, and they're like, don't watch the movies. Like we just gonna give you
Don't
the
read the
format, you
comic
guys
books.
go through it.
Don't do anything.
Don't read the fucking
that'll-
stories. Don't read the comics. Don't watch the movies.
that'll give you any kind
How
of
do you
direction.
fucking get away with that shit? Like you can literally tell the difference in them caring about a show and them just making a show.
But all right, that was before the whole Disney Plus thing launched. Kevin Feige
What's that?
said
What's
you don't need to watch the movies, or you don't need to watch these shows to be like
But someone invested in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, integrated with the movies and stuff like. I
but
know what
we-
event you're talking about, Brian.
Yeah, but we have come so far from that. We all know you have to watch these shows. You have to
Yeah.
watch these movies. They're all
Why would
like,
these people want a job with Marvel if they didn't watch this shit to begin with? Like
I will agree with Adrian. I liked Hawkeye as well. I think
Oh,
that was
Hawkeye's super
very,
good, dude.
very
Yeah, I like Hawkeye.
underappreciated as well.
It
Hawkeye
really
was
was.
Yo,
Yeah,
honestly,
Hawkeye-
dude, I remember
just love
us.
Jeremy Renner now, dude.
I remember us ranking these about a year ago or something like that. We started ranking.
We were ranking them
these
pretty
shows.
fucking high, dude.
Yeah, like, and I think I said Hawkeye up, and you guys looked at me like I had fucking 10 heads, and I'm like, yo, Hawkeye was kind of dope, bro. Like, and
No, there
I
was some
never
parts
said
in
it
it.
wasn't.
There was some
I
parts that I
never
didn't
said
really
it
care
wasn't.
for.
I
The
really
Echo
liked
thing was I was
Hawkeye.
kind of like, but I know it's a big
that
part.
was all him. We
Yeah.
were like Chris.
I'm,
I know.
yeah,
Hawkeye
I'm a
was
little
dope.
bit more cynical on it.
and
I'll
you
admit
guys
it.
got on me about fucking What If too. What If you guys didn't like? You guys weren't. a
I
fan
still don't
of
like What If.
I still don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked What If. What If?
Yeah,
fucking smacked
to me,
me.
it's forgettable.
And then more power
Yeah,
to
but
you.
Yeah.
thank God. Yeah, it's good that someone
What
else-
If smacks, bro? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what if? I mean, and the art's
dude,
cool.
smack
Some of the
ball
stories are
sacks,
badass.
dude.
Like,
Fucking
it's just what it
forehead,
is.
dude.
But then again, like What If is a really great format when it comes to understanding what the comic books were about. Like the What If comic books are exactly the same way. They were just out of this world.
I was gonna say that's probably the most comic book accurate shit we've
Yeah,
gotten
that is.
in the
That is.
fucking
It
MCU.
is. My thing is that they said that it was continuity, that it
Yeah.
was canon, and after that, I was like, "Fuck you."
That just
Nope.
threw you all off. I
Yeah,
think
they were
that's
like, "What if? Look at the What If the Doctor Strange is gonna come out in the Doctor Strange movie and all this." And I was like, "Stop, dude! Like, it's not supposed to be where What If like intertwines with the
But
continuity."
we
It's
kind of
just
got
like-
that though. We kind of
Yeah,
got
it's
that
just
in the
out there
Doctor
in the
Strange
universe somewhere.
Multiverse of Madness. We
That's
kind of
the
got
fucking problem, Brian.
Yeah, that was the
That's
problem
the
with it. They were
that. I
like,
thought that
"Here's-
was kind of cool.
here's
As a
Captain-
person that
here's
liked,
fucking-
as a person that enjoyed the What If series, seeing that correlation, even at that level, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty
I'm
cool.
sorry.
And that,
I mean,
that's
I'm a big
why,
fan of Haley Atwell,
I can't knock your appreciation for that
Yeah.
because
I was
like,
gonna say,
that's
I'm
something that somebody who has but that's truly the biggest difference between a comic book lover and a person who primarily watched the movies and that's how they know of Marvel.
Yeah.
Right? Like me and Chris, we're like, no, keep What If away, its own separate thing, because it literally is in the
Is-
fucking
its own
name.
Its
separate
own,
thing,
its
yeah.
own,
What
its
if?
own nature. I get it.
What if, right?
Yeah.
You know,
But see,
if you're,
seeing
you know,
the
if
girl
you're gonna
Haley-
fucking
Haley
call
Atwell
it that,
and
then
Doctor
just
Strange
call it,
studio?
you know, call it expanded universe or what the fuck ever, dude, or
Yeah.
multiverse saga prequel,
Yeah.
what the fuck ever, dude. But
To
don't.
me, it's one of
don't
those
do that.
things. Like I might not have liked him to join into the continuity, but like I'm a big fan of Haley Atwell. So to see her in the Captain Britain costume and all that shit, I was like, all right, cool. But like, I don't want her to be in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, but she didn't even
Like-
want to be in that costume. She was like, this is stupid. And then I
Dude,
fucking died 10
she's
seconds
just like,
later.
she's like, you're shitting on the Captain America character. Why would I want to do that? Like,
Yeah,
she loved
dude,
that story.
Yeah, that wasn't her idea.
Yeah. But like, okay, guys, like going back to it, because I know it's late and I don't want to keep Brian too crazy here. We're going to talk about this show for a long time. Me, myself, wasn't a big fan of Secret Invasion. I went into it knowing that they weren't going to use any of the assets from the show. They weren't going to do anything based on the comic book because it would be super fucking hard. But then I had another idea on how they could,
It would have been impossible.
Yeah, it would have been fucked. There's no way. There's just zero way.
That's like them doing Secret Wars right now.
Do you remember how they even do when it pops off when the Avengers finally find out the Skrulls are impersonating him and then they all meet up? Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
That was like the 1990s all costumed superheroes like wearing their old school fucking costumes, showing up and seeing the new Avengers. The Queen comes out and tells Tony Stark like, "Hey bud, you did really good. You being a Skrull. Thank you so much." And he's like, "I'm not a Skrull." And she's like, "Yeah, your brain is set that way, but you'll get it. You just chill out here and do your own thing, and we're gonna go conquer this shit." And Tony Stark is just having like a midlife crisis, thinking that he's a Skrull and he wants to help humankind stop the Skrulls, but he's a Skrull. Like, dude, the show is like, the comic book's real fucking wild. So for them to be able to pull that off, I know it wasn't gonna work. But for it to be in a situation that at the very end it all comes to fruition that they didn't even need Nick Fury to come off of the spaceship. They could have sent a Skrull to be Nick Fury at the very end and it not even matter because the Skrull stopped the Skrull villain anyways. Like there was just a lot of stuff that just was like nonsensical in this series. I really think that this was them just setting up for, I don't know what the fuck they're setting up. Because I can get where like the last episode in the last 5 minutes, it sets up that there's something going on that Marvels will have the Kree and the Kree and the Skrulls come together and unite in a peace treaty. The wife, who I've never known before, but now that Nick Fury says that she's an amazing diplomat, is probably going to be a major contributing factor. Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel are going to go out there, stop a radical Kree like the way it was in Guardians 1, who has the bangle of Kamala Khan and is going to probably be some weapon from, I don't know, fucking Kang's armory or whatever the fuck. I just don't know what it does for this series. And it's sad because Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that sets up Captain America's story way better than this one. Like even in any factor, like the president's thing at the end of the series was whack as shit. The standoff was whack. The president's reaction at the end,
Dude,
like
and that's because everyone thinks that show's mid. You know,
Which
like
one?
that's the problem.
the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah,
dude. No. Like, dude, it was super weird, man. The CG, some of it pops off, but again, there was a whole speech in episode 3 on why Nick Fury says he's not going to invite any of the Avengers because he doesn't need people with superpowers to come and fix his problem, and then has a person with superpowers fix his fucking problem.
Yeah, no, some superpowers. So he
She had
gave
all
one
the
person-
goddamn superpowers.
Yeah. He gave one person all the superpowers to fix the problem.
And then give it to Britain though, like, and then not have it under his control. Like that doesn't make any sense for his character. Like, isn't that a little weird?
Nothing about that makes sense. I don't, and
Yeah,
I think it's pointless even trying to make sense of
And
what.
I just
this
wanted to ask you
yeah,
guys,
dude, this
you
is
guys
like
have-
you trying to figure out the fucking meaning of life at this point.
right now. Okay, I gotta ask this too. You guys, I love you guys when it comes to this stuff in the movies and all that stuff. You guys have seen sci-fi films before. Whenever you watch a sci-fi film and someone is going to do some type of experiment, do you ever leave anything in the experiment area when it comes to changing your DNA, or do you remove that because there's a factor of it fucking up everything? Like that would be like if you're going to time travel, you don't have 2 people in it unless it's subjugated that there is opportunity. There is a point where Gravik leaves Nick Fury's body in the machine with him when he's about to activate it. And this machine by itself changes your DNA. So like there would have been like a crazy science factor that it just morphs these two weird ass bodies together and turns them into like a Rick and Morty blob. Like, isn't that like, didn't you guys think of that like when that happened, or was it all right that he left Nick Fury's body in there?
For me, I know what you're talking about. For
It's
me,
weird, isn't it?
No, I felt like it was kind of one of those things where it was just going to kill him. Like I felt
I
like
said
it was
that.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt
Brian
like
said
it
the
was going to
same
be a
thing, but-
radiation
I said that.
thing. Yeah, I felt like it was just going to be a radiation thing, and he was going to die, and he was already dying from the radiation anyway. So he thought.
Yeah,
So,
look,
like,
Cronenberg,
it was
the
a moot
Cronenberg
point.
situation. Yeah,
Cronenberg, yeah.
Cronenberg is the situation that happens is where you have your geneticized DNA that you're going to splice or put together, and you make sure there's like nothing scientifically on the board that can fuck with that. Especially when it comes to like, fucking DNA, dude. Like, you can't be.
So I was saying in pre-production that there's a lot of things that I can just dismantle this episode for. Things that kind of I can make sense of. I'm just gonna leave it alone and just chalk it up to whatever the fuck. So like that, I just chalked it up
kind of
to.
loose.
I kind of just it is very, but I just chalked it up to Gravik thinking he's dying anyway. This is gonna kill him. So fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
It still doesn't make sense.
Like that.
You're like, I'm not
That's
gonna.
the
I'm not
easiest
gonna
explained
excuse it.
answer.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm not gonna
easiest
excuse it,
explained
we're just gonna
answer
gloss
that
it
you're
over.
probably gonna have. So
Yeah.
there's like it's like
Still
why
doesn't make
can't
sense.
I have orange juice over apple juice?
But we got some bigger fish to fry here, so I'll let that one slide. I'll let that one
Okay,
slide.
I have
Whatever,
another
yo.
question. This goes off with that episode. We see an entire situation where from the beginning to the end, Nick Fury, the fake Nick Fury's character, is walking into the compound and he's suffering from the radiation. All the way to, and he gets up to Gravik, and then Gravik even explains to him, you're going to get tremors because that's what happens, and the radiation acts quick. You got to have got to be pretty strong about this. We know the iodine pills are not working in that factor. That's the whole point, is they're showing that. How did the people that were captured stay in that base and walk out of that bitch like it was nothing?
That's what I'm saying. The writing is you gave me 5 episodes where the writing, even if you didn't agree with what was going on, it was tight. It was
easily explained.
It was explained.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to wonder or guess about anything. And as a show or a movie, that's all I asked for, is for you to take out the part of me having to wonder what the fuck is going on. When you do that, like I said, I will give you the reason, like the whole Nick Fury inside that's fine. We have bigger fish to fry here. Like the writing on that, like can you explain to me how the people that were held hostage in Rhodey's case, which seems to be for a very long time, how they just magically were able to wake up in this highly toxic environment without pills, without anything? Like, can you explain that to me? Like,
I couldn't. I was like, in my
it
mind,
made no sense.
yeah,
And that's bad writing. That's bad writing. That's bad writing.
That was them looking at us and being like, nah, it doesn't matter. They're not gonna give a shit anyways.
I don't like that.
That's
I
so
don't like
bad.
that.
That is bad. That's
don't like that.
that's pretty rough. But you know what? Like you mentioned it right now. How did you
Put them
feel
in a
about the
capsule. Put them in a fucking in something to where they're
pod or something.
covered,
Just
a
have them on a
pod or
table.
something.
Yeah.
They're just
They'll just
out
put
in
them
the
on
open.
stretchers, dude. Like there's bugs. What do spiders get on these motherfuckers, man? Like, gotta take care of them at least. Jeez. How did you feel about Rhodey, dude? Like just in general, like how they
I
implemented
called
Rhodey.
I called Rhodey's thing 3 episodes ago.
Actually, a lot of people have been talking about him being like the invasion thing for a while when they were mentioning the show. So it's a cool payoff. But how did you guys feel like how they implemented it? How they continuity they put him in the nurse's outfit or the scrubs? Like, how do you feel about how far that they pushed him back?
Well,
I
we
called
don't
it.
know
I
how
called
far
it
he
3
pushed him
episodes
back,
ago.
though.
So for me, like the pit, like I'm not going to say that there was no payoff, but like for me, the payoff was like completely expected. Like, you know, I'm not going to say that I was disappointed or that I felt wanting or anything like that, because like I said, I called that. Like I felt like I was like and I even thought about it too. I was like, watch, because everyone's like, there's going to be a huge scroll reveal. It's going to be Rhodey. And that person's been a scroll for a long time. It's Rhodey.
It's never
It's going to be Rhodey. And then like, it's Rhodey. And I was like, okay, cool. There's been a scroll for a long time since Civil War. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
So
I don't think it's
Ryan?
been since Civil War. I think it might have been since Endgame. I just think that
I'm
would
calling
be.
Civil War.
I think that would just be a very That's asking a lot of the fans to accept the fact that he had been
Brother, that we're having to
Skrull.
accept that they've been in fucking Chernobyl for 10 years.
yeah, in the middle of a radiated site. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that makes right now in of itself, it's kind of far fetched. But to let me know that he had been there for the last 10 fucking years in a highly radioactive fucking state, it just makes it even worse.
Makes it
No,
even
dude,
better
that's
if I
cherry
also
on
tell
top,
you it was
dude.
Iron Man
That's
2,
the
bro.
cherry on top of the fuck you Sunday that these producers gave us, dude.
I think
I
it would have been funnier
guess.
if they got him and it was the fucking main actor that came out in Iron Man 1, then that they replaced
Oh,
with
dude,
Don
if it
Cheadle.
was Terrence Howard, I would have laughed.
Dude,
But then
I
all right.
would
So listen, but
have
if
God, that would
that
have been so good, dude.
if that were the case where he had been there since Civil War, he doesn't have his legs then.
Yeah,
he doesn't have his metal legs. So then
He doesn't even know Tony's dead. Like he doesn't know anything about what happened after that.
wrecked.
So that's the thing. Like so, with that knowing, if you do it at Endgame and you get it switched out there, you're kind of like okay, like the screen went the scroll went in there after Thanos, after all that shit. Don Cheadle's character, Rhodey knows about Iron Man being dead and being out for, but if it's in Civil War and he's like super out of the radar and even worse, and then you realize, okay, Armor Wars is coming. Does that get you guys excited for Armor Wars, knowing that it was a scroll the entire time? Like selling off, it gives more proper essence.
I said offline that it raises the stakes for Civil War. Sorry, for Armor War.
It's because I said, can you imagine if it was from Iron Man 1, Terrence Howard, dude? If he would
and they had
have
this
that would be
little
crazy.
weird meta point where they had what's the other guy, the fucking the white dude from fucking Black Panther.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
scroll.
yeah.
Everett
You're
Ross.
talking
Yeah,
Everett
dude,
Ross.
I know who you're
They-
talking about.
They had that meta part where they were like, well, how long have you been here?
Yeah.
When they first woke up, like, how long have you been here? And Rhodey didn't answer. So it was like, yeah, we were all fucking wondering that shit, and I guess we're gonna get.
Well,
it
I think it's in the
Armor
point
Wars.
because he doesn't know who the fuck Everett Ross is.
Fuck.
Yeah, he technically never met Everett Ross in that. It would have
Yeah,
been
dude.
like,
So,
yeah,
like-
I would have never met that dude.
This is yet again another thing that for me solidifies Civil War.
So,
Sure.
so does this get you guys excited for Armor Wars? Because now, for me,
I
what I was
honestly,
thinking is like, wait, hold on. I was thinking that what if Sharon Carter is actually a scroll and that's why she's the fucking broker?
yet again, that would be just another fuck you on this whole show, but it would make sense.
I
At
know,
this
it's
point-
like one of those
at this
things, it's
point, it
crazy.
makes sense.
Yeah.
At this point, it makes sense. And to answer your original question,
Yeah.
yes, it does. Is because now I feel that there's a lot more on the line for Rhodey. One, he's been asleep for 10 years. He
Okay.
doesn't know that or he's
Anything.
just learning that Tony died, and then he's gonna find out that people are stealing his shit. Yeah, dude, he's gonna take that pretty personally. You know, in my head, this is my head canon. I have nothing but assumption and
I mean, just
stipulation.
imagine like coming in and knowing you had a whole personal like relationship with people that aren't even from this planet. The entire Avengers, everybody that fought in the end, like they were alongside Rhodey the entire time. What they believed, he fucking saved Rocket Raccoon's life.
Yeah, but I don't think Rhodey would have that same ambition if it was that early on. If he had went through all of that and went through Endgame and then was captured, then he would have that vendetta. Like, damn, like they really just tried to fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. If he had been abducted since like Civil War,
Yeah.
he'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, well,
Yeah, he's just gonna be like, "What the fuck? Like
What the
that's
fuck?
weird.
yeah. but
Aliens
after-
captured me. That's crazy."
putting in all that time battling for Earth and all that shit, and then you come in and try to like impersonate me, I think that's a little bit more impactful. I would just think so, personally.
Yeah,
Especially after Tony died and him actually feeling that and
yeah, crying and shit, right? That
Yeah,
Skrull guy. I guess Skrull
to
guy
me,
now.
to me. But you
Was
guys
there
might
in
be
front
right.
of Tony,
though.
like crying and shit in front of him. I was like, "Damn, dude! Like, yo, wait, does
Dude,
that
what if Tony knew, dude? He just like looked at him, and that's why he just looked at him.
That's why he spaced out. Like,
Yeah.
fuck out of here! You're not Rhodey." So where does this put chronologically with Iron Man 3?
What?
Was Iron Man 3 before Civil War or after?
No, it was before.
It was
Okay,
Civil War.
fuck, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
jeez, dude, can you imagine?
That's why you kind of threw me through a loop there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, dude. Jeez. Okay, so this kind of puts into perspective that Armor Wars is a little bit like, okay, cool, like kind of excited. Not too bad. But overall, boys, we got to ask Secret Wars or a Secret Invasion as an entire series before we end the show. I need a rating from you guys.
I'm going to give it
I need
an
a
8.
rating.
I'm giving it
8?
an 8. Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been a
James?
9 if this last episode was anywhere remotely coherent. But I'll give it an 8.
Triggs?
It would have been a hard 8 if this last episode didn't suck so bad. But I'm giving it a very soft 7.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's probably going to be like a 6.5, maybe between a 7, 6.5. Like, I just think that the show overall was a decline from the first episode to end. There were some parts in between that were, yeah, like I'm not going to shit on any of the actors or anything like that. And there were some good parts, but I'm not looking at it for the episode. I'm looking at it for the payoff. And the overall arcing story, like, literally drops the ball in the last 2 episodes pretty bad. I didn't even see the point to like them ending with the weird phone call if he was already in contact with what's her face. And I didn't see a point in him putting on a fucking coat patch and getting a gun if he only used the dart gun at the end anyways. He didn't kill nobody. Like, actually, no, he kills Rhodey, I guess. But I think having a person like that female British character, I can never remember any, Sophia or something like that. Like the way that she carried herself through the entire episode, like through the entire series, there was no way you dumb her down in the end like that. Like that was like a disgrace to what you built for that character all the way to the end. When they're doing that weird face off with the president, like there's no way that she just sits there and just waits for everybody to just argue and doesn't be like, oh, look, I'll fucking bring out the syringe and pop it into him in his neck and it won't kill him. You won't hear an explosion. He's not going to die. Or here, look, and then paper cut him and just let him bleed out because they have purple blood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have purple blood. Like you can poke him and not shoot him. Because my thing was the only reason why I think she didn't shoot him was because the chain reaction. The president would have shot someone and then someone shoots the president and all this stuff, right? Like, that's what I feel. And you need the president alive and willing to be able to work with you. But, like, for it to be such a weird standoff, that was such a shit show, dude. That was such a shit show. But, yeah. Oh, and I wanted to ask Triggs, I didn't get your opinion on this. The CG at the ending, the fight scenes, what did you think?
It left a little bit to be desired.
Okay.
I will give it a very soft 8.
Okay. All right. And Brian, I know me and you talked about it off scene, but what do you think of the CG at the end for the fights and stuff?
I think it was horrible, honestly.
Think it was
I'm assuming that's where a lot of the money went, was his last episode.
Yeah.
And I think
They bought Emilia Clarke and the CG for that last episode, and that they had nothing else to really give to the writers.
And I think
so the writers were like, "Okay, cool,
fuck it." yeah. They gave them
the fucking notes on crayon and fucking.
They definitely mailed that last episode in. So yeah, I think the CGI could have been better if that's where all this money was going to be spent. And yeah, that's what I'll say about that.
Man, dude, this fucking show really took the piss out of me, dude. Like it really did,
dude. Like I could sit here and I could front and I can be like, bro, give it a chance.
I really wanted it to be good, man.
But,
I almost feel like I want to cry, dude. Like it's fucking stupid, dude. Like,
oh, dude, like honestly, the only highlight to me is the talk between Gravik and Nick Fury. That's it.
At the end, or what?
Yeah. You know,
but see, like, all right, just to be on a positive side, at least they give you that in each episode.
I know.
I don't care how boring you think it is. I don't care if it's the lack of action. I don't care if you think there's no development. In each episode, they're going to give you some dialogue that's going to make you feel like, fuck, man, that was some good action.
Remember, I had been saying this, for what,
each
3
episode
weeks now? Yeah, like I have to pick and choose a scene from each episode to make it worth the watch for next week.
And that's a lot more than what a lot of these MCU shows will give you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll just give you a full episode of fucking shit. and you
Yeah.
won't even get any good acting within it as well. Plus some
Yeah.
bad CGI. So it's like at the very least, you can give me a coherent story with some good acting, and I can rely on that.
You know what? Look, I'll do something in the positive for this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really excited to see what they do with that British lady. Like, I do like her in front of the camera. Her drops of all. She was such a breath of fresh air for the show. Like, she was so cool. And I'm kind of bummed out that they killed off Talos, because I really like that actor, and I think he did, like, even the dude. Do you remember Captain Marvel, the TV show, when he came out in it? Triggs, I gotta ask this to you because you read The Secret Invasion. You know Talos' story. When he's there, I mean, well, Brian, you too, dude. Like, you watch movies, and this is so fucking fantastic. After knowing that Talos was supposed to be like some villain, and in the comic books he's a huge villain, and then to see him show up at Nick Fury's house drinking out of like a big gulp cup, like just like in costume, like with the thing, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up? Like, I'm just here to talk." That was, to me, one of the coolest fucking scenes ever, because I assumed it was gonna be like an invasion story where this person was coming in as like a true villain, and here he is hanging out, arms crossed, leaning up against the wall with a big gulp cup. And from there on out, I love that character, Talos. Like, I just thought he was such a witty written character, and I just feel like they fucked his character up real bad in this series. They gave him a lot of good points. They gave him a strong, serious moral character. I like the scene in the beginning of the first episode when he's fighting that dude and he gets mad at Nick Fury. The cast for what they used him for in most parts were pretty good. So Emilia Clarke too, man. Fuck it. I think she's amazing also. So just the show itself didn't so hot. So yeah, 6 mid. Boys, what do you got?
I hope you liked her, because you're gonna get a lot more of her, and she's the most fucking powerful motherfucker in the fucking universe. So I hope you like her. Yeah, I hope you fucking like her, bro.
I'm super confused.
You love her, actually.
Fuck, jeez, I'm super confused. Like,
she was the least used character in this entire fucking show.
And then given the biggest power set across the Marvel universe.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to sit on this. I can sit on this for hours, bro. Because like my biggest thing was, like, I went right after on the internet and I was like, who the fuck has everyone's characters in the comic books? Like the Beyonder? Like, is this where Marvel's going with this character? They're gonna make her the Beyonder? And I was like, no, it can't be, dude. Like, what else? Like, Triggs, like, help me out. Like, who else has that kind of power set across the Marvel landscape that they have, like Thanos's powers?
What's that? What's that non-canon story where that kid ends up taking the powers of the Living Tribunal? They start
like a what if.
It's kind of like a what if.
Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy, dude.
That kid.
I don't know anybody across the landscape that has that kind of work. Boys, what do you got planned for the weekend?
Fight night
work
buddy.
tomorrow, but I'm probably gonna get drunk tonight.
Triggs, are you back in town?
I am.
Oh, dude, welcome back, brother. Brian, what
I
about
am
you? What do you
here
got
in
for this weekend?
Edinburgh? I am actually like 5 minutes from you.
Nice, dude.
I am without my computer. This is what
I
I'm
heard.
using to fucking play games on right now. My handy dandy.
Yeah, it's a Stream Deck. Dude, that's pretty wild. That's pretty good.
So I got a Steam Deck, my dog, and a can-do attitude.
Sounds like a country song.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian? What do you got?
Told you it's fight night, man. Tomorrow night, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna hang out with some friends, get drunk, watch the fight. Hopefully, it'll be a great fight, and that's it, man. That's it.
Bro,
Make sure you hit me up with
That's
some fucking updates, dude.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you hit me up with some updates for sure. I'm gonna try to see if I can watch the UFC fight. If not, I'm gonna be out doing some fucking gangster stuff. I don't know, light some stuff on fire, do some shit.
Robert, if you can hook us up with that, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, Rob's in the fucking comment section. My boy. Guys, I want to say thank you so much. You know, boys, you guys are the best. You make my Friday nights super fun, and I anticipate every time we get this going on. Everybody in the comment section. Adrian, man, coming through with a bunch of comments today. Thank you for jumping in
man.
today.
man.
Appreciate you.
Ride or die,
Wrong Hole
man.
Rick earlier, Rob, David, all the guys. We appreciate every one of you. Even the people that stay quiet in the comment section, we appreciate every one of you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and appreciating us. Guys, if you can, remember, don't forget, If you listen to podcasts normally, don't forget to add us up. We have our podcast across the board on all your podcasting media. So make sure you just like send us an ad, send us a subscribe, listen to some of our old stuff. You know, we cover this stuff all this time. Not only that, we do have a YouTube channel that we do live right here, right now, and it goes through and all that. Subscribe to that. We're looking for subscribers, and we've been doing pretty good on our views on YouTube, guys. Kind of casually growing. That's pretty good. I don't know. We're just organically.
Keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, man. I'm about that shit. I get a little, you know, fuzzy inside when I'm like, he, you know, someone liked our shit today. So not too bad. That's pretty good. But we appreciate every one of you guys. To all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you. We hope you have a great weekend. We love you guys. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys again here every Friday here on the Average Boys Podcast on Facebook. I think I'm on Twitch right now somewhere. Am I on Twitch? I probably am.
You are.
Yes, I am. I'm on Twitch on the Crispy, the Average Boys Podcast, and on YouTube. It's called the same thing. Yeah, it's called the Average Boys Podcast. You type that in, it should pop up right up. And the logo will be our red logo that looks like the Akira sign, which I'm probably I gotta do a whole new intro and all that stuff soon, boys. It's gonna be changing up soon, so we'll be able to get some cool things going on. We hope that everybody has a great weekend. Like I said, you know, do some great things, have some fun. If there's anything you guys want us to cover next week or anything you guys want us to talk about, hit us up in our Facebook, send us a DM, or look us up on Discord. Look us up on Discord. We got Discord too, guys. So if you guys go, hit us up. We're there all week. Appreciate everybody. See you guys next week. We love you. Laters.
Peace.
Bang.